Hi guys and girls, we're here at last. Back streaming again. I've missed a few of these on the previous Fridays, but great to be back. Here with Yamiks, Down to Earth, as well as Exigeous. We're going to be talking a little bit about Chapter 3, and we've also got a little game of Jeopardy we're going to be playing as well a little bit later on, but the other guys will tell you all about that. I think Yamiks is having a little bit of trouble with this stream, so we're going to hang around a bit and then he'll be in. And I think after a few more minutes or so, we should have Down to Earth and Exigeous here as well. So I hope everyone's doing alright. Hope you can hear me okay. It's nice to see you all here. See a whole bunch of people already in chat. Who have we got? We've got Alden. Alden. Nice to see you here. Prime Heretic. Woody Wilson. Illustrated Mono. Oh, great. Nice to see you, Commander Machine. Hey there, Austin. Ah, Sir Super Death. Nice to see you as well. Right. So I'm actually here on the PlayStation 4 edition of my of Elite Dangerous at the moment. And there's a reason I'm doing that. It's because I want to take this ship out to the Gnosis and go on its journey into the Cone Sector and then into wherever else it's going. Where's it going after that? It's going into the Formidine Rift. Have we got an SRV? I don't want to go out to the Formidine without an SRV. So in case you're wondering why the aspect ratio is a little bit different, and that I've got an orange HUD and that I'm in a Diamondback, that's because I'm on the PlayStation 4. So just checking here on, oh nope, on Discord. It's all messing around a little bit. Right, I've got a, can't see what's going on in, nope. Oh dear, I've got a couple of technical issues going on here with Discord at the moment. I can't see what's going on with the other guys. I think unfortunately Yamiks has got some technical issues as well, so let's get my ship out of the way before I crash this. Right, give me a couple of minutes and I'll get this Discord sorted out. Oh, there we go. That's what I want to do, I think. Right, so yeah, I'm going to head out, and real shame you're too far out to make it back to the Rift. That's a shame, Wendigo. Hey there, Andre. My Discord link, I haven't actually got a personal Discord channel or a YouTube channel, Discord channel. It's just the Discord I was talking about is the one where I've got open with Yamiks in and Down to Earth and Exigeous. But they're all a little bit busy at the moment. Unfortunately, I've probably gone live a little bit earlier than everyone was actually ready. Still waiting for Yamiks. He's having a little bit of trouble getting his game running. So how's the sound here? Is everything alright? I'm not sure I've got the... Oh, you probably can't hear any game sound just yet. That's probably the reason for that. Will I do a stream on Star Trek Bridge Crew? Yes, I think I should do that. I haven't tried out the Next Generation just yet, but we'll get there. We'll have the game sound in a minute as well. I've got the desktop sound muted at the moment because I've got a couple of other chats going on in the background as the other guys try and sort out their various technical difficulties. So yeah, what are we saying? Chapter 3 is a bit of a joke. Well, that's something we're going to be talking about probably quite details in a minute. Everyone's got their opinion on that, and I think they're all very understandable opinions. Does anyone know where the Gnosis is at the moment? Because I'm heading in that direction. What week are we? We're in the 23rd, so HD 51502 is where we're heading to. HD 51502. Heading out there because I want to dock with the Gnosis. I don't know, since you've seen me play on the PlayStation 4. I don't think I've streamed from here from a very long time. HD 51505, I think it was, didn't I say? HD 51502. HD 51502. Okay, so 1,000 light years shouldn't take too long. In this ship, I've got just over a 40 light year jump range. Hey there, Alden. The Gnosis is leaving on the 30th, I believe, of August. It's heading to the Autotis system. It's not heading until the Cone sector until the 6th of September. So you've got nearly 2 weeks before we're heading to the into the Cone sector. But I want to get there early on the PlayStation version because I know if I don't do it now, I'll end up forgetting. Chapter 3 is more of verse 3, yeah, I'd say. But we all knew, to be perfectly fair, we knew it was going to be a small update. But then again, perhaps people are more frustrated with the type of the content rather than the amount of content. No, Andre, I'm not playing in open because I know I'll end up getting stream sniped. So just easier to not bother with that. So hopefully Yamiks isn't going to be too much longer. He's had to reset his computer a few times, unfortunately. 445 jumps back to the bubble. That's quite a way crash down. Yeah, I probably would get stream supported. You're quite right there. Crash down. The trouble is when I'm talking on these particular types of live streams with the other guys, we've got the other creators here. It's more about them discussing with me and me discussing with them. All of us discussing with each other. So it makes it a little bit difficult to talk with all of them and also concentrate on too much of the what's going on in the stream as well. So it's one of the reasons during this stream I probably won't be interacting directly too much with the chat either. I will type in chat to you guys, but I probably won't be talking directly to you. But do hang around because at the end of these streams, normally around about 8 o'clock onwards, it'll be down to just me on my own and I'll spend some time with all of you directly. So yeah, until then though, once the other guys are in, we'll be discussing amongst ourselves. And there we go. Oh, Yamiks is live. He's good. He's saying around about 2 minutes. So we should be good. Sound like an English Bob Ross. Well, thank you very much, Lavian. Oh, and thank you, Fressinger. That's awesome. Really appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. Super hyped for Chapter 4. Again, you're welcome for the videos. I'm glad you like them. I'm also super hyped for Chapter 4. I know some people are trying to keep their hype at bay, but for me, it's really the thing I've been looking to ever since they announced it back in last October. Okay, so it looks like Yamiks is good to go. I'm going to actually bring everyone in now. We've got Down to Earth, Yamiks and Exigeous. So once I open up, it may be all a little bit crazy as everyone's talking at once, but yeah, here we go. Bringing everyone in now.
Perhaps I don't even fucking know what it was. So there we go.
You're good to go then, Yamiks, yeah? You're live?
Just to...
So we're basically at this point just waiting for Obsidian.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay.
Planned to
Oh, there we go. I'm here.
hello.
There we go.
You're good. You're live then?
I think we are all live, yeah. I think maybe I'm dead. I don't know. Maybe I'm zombie.
No one can hear you.
These
Yamiks
days,
a
I don't
zombie.
even fucking know myself. Who knows? But a vampire, I don't know. So there we go. Right then. As per usual, I offer someone else to intro this, unless, of course, you want me to do it. Or if there are no takers, I shall do it again.
I was gonna say Ant or Down to Earth haven't been here for a while. They could start.
How about
yeah.
how about Astro? You go for it. Down to Earth.
Yeah. Okay. So Let me get me notes. Where did I put those? Here we go. Nope. There. Yes. So plan was, I think we're just gonna run through the things that was announced, and I guess it could be a good idea to start with what are they called? The Dark Guardian beacons. And just gonna read out what it says on this topic on the forum post. It says new Guardian beacons have been discovered in the galaxy. These will lead to new discoveries and help you unlock new Guardian secrets. The puzzle you solve at these giant structures will lead you to unlock some incredible new technology. So yeah.
Another puzzle. Yay! More grind!
Did I just laugh when he said incredible new technology?
Okay, so
Oh, God.
I guess we all know what the so-called incredible new technology is, unless it's something they are gonna it's gonna be part of the narrative. That is something they're gonna add later on. Yeah.
Oh God, I
haven't started on that one though. But
I mean, I don't know what to say.
No, we know what it is, and you know, in typical fashion, even this was spoiled a long time ago when it was bugged and you could get the Guardian vessel blueprints, right? Which is, I gotta assume that's what's going to be in these. It's going to be some
probably unlock the fighters.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm thinking about the big like structure kind of things that are going to be.
Well, are you not thinking the structures are going to be where we
so,
do the puzzle to get the vessel blueprints? That's kind of what I was assuming.
Yeah. So I have actually several theories on what's going to go on with these structures, and I have no idea if any of them are even remotely close to what's going to happen. But you guys can of course give feedback if you want. So if you recall back when before Thargoids were properly introduced into the game, patches before we had the Shiplords fighters. So they could test that out with the new Thargons. I was actually thinking if these Guardian structures, if they're going to test some of the potential game mechanic that they're going to introduce around the fleet carriers. So there will be some kind of interaction with it. So they can test some of the functionalities out that they might want to put into the fleet carriers, because otherwise it's going to be a huge amount of testing they have to do for that patch. Relatively, it could be something like the Thargoid structures, the Thargoid bases, just in space.
That's exactly what I'm kind of assuming at the most, right?
What I hope it's not. I hope it's not just another Guardian ruin just in space. So there's like things we have to shoot and things we have to scan. But if it was a little bit more like the Guardian structures, or sorry, the Thargoid structures, where you have to go
bring
and pick up some
random items that who the fuck knows what they do and what else, and
you can
boom, something opens. I mean, I guess.
And maybe I'm too pessimistic. I agree with you, Astro, that I think that would be cool if that was that. But my strong bet is that it's going to be like the previous Guardian stuff, and that we're going to do exactly what you said. That there'll be pylons to shoot at and charge, and a thing to scan. I don't know. I'm trying to think of in a way how you would. It seems like, I mean, I guess they could do something where you're giving it cargo, right? Because I guess we pull up on the little pad at the structure, and eject our cargo, and it just kind of takes it. So maybe you'd fly into a dock of some kind, and I would hope for that. That'd be really cool, but I don't think I'm that optimistic as to what it's going to be.
I mean, if they give them a decent gravitational field, we could potentially pull stuff towards them.
Yeah,
I have a suspicion here. Okay.
Which guy?
Yeah.
So here's my theory. Let's just call that, right? So let's be generous and call it theory. So, if we all remember what happened with all the other Guardian stuff in the past, do you guys remember what happened with the first sites that were found?
You mean them being broken?
Yeah, the ones you drove around on.
Aside from being broken, what happened with a lot of them after a few weeks?
Yeah, they got nerfed to hell because they apparently.
No.
You mean in terms of they weren't worthless? They were worthless.
Are we talking like not the ruins, but the structures where there was all the obelisks?
The obelisks, yeah.
Yeah. The
all sorts
ruins.
of things.
Yeah, the ruins.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna tease too much, but right. So
We're not
basically,
following you.
yeah. Sorry, maybe it's a bit too unobvious. I don't know what English I'm using anymore. Anyways,
Yamiks,
so what
Yamiks
happened
English.
with early Guardian sites?
Yamglish.
So, sure, yeah, let's go with that.
English.
So,
English.
right. Yes, at least it's better than British English. Just saying. anyways, that aside. So, if you all remember, we first got the Guardian update. We found Guardian sites. There was just one site that was found. After that, there were a few more found, and a few more after that, and we ended up with just 3 different types of sites. But all of them were the same, just the same. Between those 3 types.
Right.
But after that, after a little while more, what happened with those sites? They changed even more. So my prediction, just the same as with the Targoid sites, they did change as well after a while, unbeknownst to us. If I'm wrong, do correct me, but all that stuff aside, yeah, I expect that these what thingamajiggers that they put in the game will be just one template, put in the thing, copy pasted all over the place. That's all it's gonna be for a couple of weeks. After a while, they'll change it. They'll add a few bits here and there. They'll change where things are located. That's what I expect. So basically, at first, push in just a bog standard template, and then change things around just so they don't feel the same. Even though the first people that really cared about these sites already found them, and found them in the same way, rather, basically being copies of each other, and having so much fun with these copies, they'll be sick of these things right away. So that's my little theory there. Of course, it might not be, because the second, Guardian structures, the things with those Sentinels, most of them were different, so maybe developers will actually put in effort and time, things that often really get you that thing called job done correctly. Who knows?
So,
maybe they'll put that in this time, so we won't see copy-pasted stuff.
What did Frontier specifically call these things? They what did they refer to them as?
Guardian
Wasn't it beacons? Yeah.
Beacons, yeah, beacons.
So presumably it's
They're-
just a slightly bigger human-like thingamajig. So
Yeah.
Can just
So
recap it.
I wouldn't have thought they're going to be particularly big, judging by that, unless the Guardians have huge, massive beacons.
It was hard to
They
tell
probably
from
got-
the teaser, wasn't it?
It was hard to tell, yeah. But to me, beacons would suggest something like the human-sized satellites we've got. But then again, that's very small, isn't it? So I don't know.
Yeah, I would think it's
It just
bigger
looked
than
extremely
that.
big in the trailer.
Like, to me,
The
it
teaser
looks about
trailer,
the
they looked
size
really
of
big,
the-
didn't they?
Yeah, to me, it looks the size of the Guardian structures on the ground, just in space. That was the, it was hard to tell given the teaser trailer was, 27 seconds of logo and 3 seconds of structure?
Oh, no. There was
Right.
7 seconds total.
Oh, okay.
I counted it.
Gotcha. Sorry.
So we're moving on to that topic already,
Well, we
That's
can.
way low down the list.
or do we just go through details and then maybe?
Yeah, let's go through the details first.
Okay, let's first do that, because there's things that I've
Well, that's
already said and I will say. So moving on.
Well, what's Ant? I'm curious, Ant, what's your take on them? What are you thinking they're going to be?
At this point, honestly, I've really no clue. It's the teaser was probably one of the, I don't want to say worst trailers, but I'm going to say it, one of the worst trailers Frontier have shown in terms of it actually revealing anything, wasn't it? It's a sort of trailer you see when, sort of teaser, I know it was a teaser, but it's a sort of teaser trailer you get when a brand new game is announced, where they just show the logo. You don't just advertise the logo of a game that's been around for 5 years or 4 years.
One of my favorite comments was, "Wow, they're going to bring giant logos to the game. This is awesome." Or something like that. Right. I think that was fantastic.
Oh my god, that's a perfect comment.
Oh, it was great.
Wow, what's that fun?
So yeah, just so hard to get an idea of what it was at all. I mean, the trailer
yeah,
gave the impression it was massive. It could easily be the size of a space station or an outpost, judging from that.
It could be
that trailer, but equally it could be much smaller.
I mean, I guess the question is it the size of a Corvette or the size of a a Coriolis station? I'm hoping the latter.
I've shown my own videos that you can use this thing in photography and filmography called perspective that can be used to imply different things and different scales. So at this point, it's kind of useless to speak.
Yeah.
Would you mind
There's absolutely no point of reference.
very quickly while you talk, it's sort of going off on a tangent, but I think it's quite an interesting subject. Without going on it for too long, what's your thoughts then on the sense of scale in Elite? Because I often see a lot of people saying things don't really look anywhere
We
near
need
as large as they
space
should.
legs. That's my response to the scale of the game. We need
Everything looks
space
off.
legs to properly to examine things and so on and so forth to get the sense of the scale. Because at this point, SRV is really the only point of reference for sense of scale, and even that is several times bigger than the human being. So yeah. Kind of an issue there.
To me, I think the scale's really. I think the scale in VR is fantastic. I think
VR is
out
very
of
good,
VR,
yeah.
it's really difficult to get the sense of scale. But I think in VR, for me personally, I think that what the scale, and maybe it's just the scale because of VR, not necessarily Elite, but the scale in VR. I mean, I remember one of the first times flying into a station in VR, thinking, "Oh my God, this thing is just unbelievably massive."
Yep.
But when you're playing it on your monitor, it's it's big, but you don't get that
So
feeling.
you don't get that feeling. It's the same when you're flying the huge capital ships. If you do it in
Yeah,
VR, they look absolutely gigantic
Massive.
in VR. But on screen, not so much. And yet, I always find myself comparing it to something like the X series. I mean, that hasn't got the scale of universe that Elite's got, but when you fly up to near one of those space stations in X, you can see damn well it's big. I don't know if you guys have played those games.
It's been a long
thing
time.
I've noticed is the Frontier used a very clever trick to make the ships seem bigger than they actually are.
I've used that in one of my videos, indeed.
There was one of these you mentioned as well, and
it's called forced perspective, by the way. But yeah,
there was this guy who made this walk around on a planet, and he rendered some of the ships in it. You could walk around with a character,
right?
Like the small art thing. I can't remember what it was. I streamed it a while ago, and we were discussing a lot during that stream whether the ships was actually to scale, because they seemed to be a lot smaller than they were in the game, and we tried to compare them to some of the structures to see how they were, and I was actually amazed how small a lot of the ships are. But look at the windows on the ships, they're basically keyholes. I mean, the viewing deck on the Anaconda is like, if the scale in that was correct, it's hard to get that viewing deck on the Anaconda larger than a meter and a half, so you wouldn't actually be able to stand on it there.
Well, for me, like one of the things I think about when I guess because I fly Lake on ships a lot. I don't fly the Vet much or the Anaconda much. So most of the time when you're in your, like right now, I'm playing on my monitor because I'm streaming, right? And since you're so far forward of the ship, I don't think you get an appreciation for the fact that there's this massive ship behind you, right? You don't get that feeling of it. Where I think VR does help that because of everything you see in forward of you. I remember actually the first time I jumped into what's the giant star, VY Canis Majoris, right? So I jumped into VY and it was like, oh look, it looks like a normal star. Well, a buddy of mine jumped in on the other side of it, and he was 12,000 light seconds away. So then I got the scale of, oh my God, like this looks like a normal star and everything, yet he's that far away from me. It's got to be this massive. And then at Betelgeuse, I landed on that moon, or whatever it is, that planet that's right, the closest one you can land to, got into VR, and then, like, oh my God, it was just incredibly huge. But other than that, no.
Sense of scale is really difficult.
Yeah, in fairness, it is. Right.
The trouble is with the
Next
stars,
topic.
partly it does always drops you, relatively speaking, the same distance from the star, regardless of size. So the star always looks,
Perspective-wise.
yeah, the star always
Exactly,
looks
yeah.
the same size, even though it's not.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly what I was kind of pointing out. Like when I jumped into VY, right? I thought that exact same thing.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, isn't this the biggest damn star? Isn't it like 900 billion or 9 billion times the mass of our star or something crazy like that? It certainly didn't feel like it.
Yeah. So you're moving on.
Yeah, should we talk about
Next
fighters?
topic?
Next topic is the new hybrid fighters. New hybrid fighter combine the best of both standards. Guardian technology that makes them combat machines. They come in three variants: the Trident, the Javelin with shard launchers, and the Lance with ghost projector.
I
Fast
actually,
and agile with
yeah.
strong shields to let them dart into the ferry. Okay.
Oh? Okay. You're cutting out there.
As with other small fighters, they have. Okay. Put up quick image up here on stream so you guys can see them.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got
Well,
the poster.
anyways, yeah, let me just say that I enjoyed Exigeous' comment on this particular matter. I don't remember verbatim exactly what you said, but you know what? We have Exigeous, so...
Oh, shit, I don't remember what I said. What did I say?
No? Okay, so basically it's it was something along the lines of yay, we got some more things that will be outside of that will be useless outside of Targoid hunting. So what's the point?
Yeah, well, I think maybe what I was getting at is like one of the comments I've gotten a lot on, you know, that I've read a lot on the teaser trailer we keep talking about was, you know, why do you keep adding all of this content that so few people do, and that basically we're just the majority of players are just going to get to see on a YouTube stream, right? You know, like so few people. I mean, I actually really enjoy Guardian or Thargoid combat, right? But we do know, in fact, I got a lot of the comments like this on the tutorial I did on Thargoid combat, and it was, you know, this looks great, but it's multiple people. I thought this was surprising, actually. Like, oh, it's locked behind a grind wall, which I don't necessarily agree with or disagree with. It kind of is. I mean, you can do it unengineered, but it definitely is a lot harder. It's a lot harder if you don't have the Guardian weapons. And the reality is to engineer, you know, the crate and unlock, you know, the Gauss cannons and say the plasma charger. I mean, what is that, 100 hours of gameplay minimum, you know, for a normal player? And so it is a shame. So I think they look fantastic, actually. I saw somebody complain about that they're too sci-fi, not realistic with their kind of detached wings and stuff. I think it looks great, honestly. But at the same time,
it gives them the alien properties.
It does. It does. Yeah.
As well.
Agreed,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
But it seems like something that's going to be so niche that it's, you know, why are they spending their time on this? Right? This is not what the player base wants, which I think is what we're going to get to here in a minute.
Yeah.
Right. Ant, what's your take? You haven't said a whole lot.
No, it's. I mean, to be honest, I don't even use the fighters that are in the game right now. I don't do a whole lot of combat, so the fighters are kind of useless to me. It goes back to the old thing. It goes back to the old thing with the range of the fighters. You can only take them so far from your ship, can't you? Was it 30 kilometers? Yeah, and then it basically that's it. You're done, which makes them not much use for anything really. If you're down on a planetary surface, you can't really go anywhere with them. Same with, I've liked to try flying the fighters through because they're, you know, they're quite manoeuvrable, aren't they? They're good to fly through canyons. But if you've got a big heavy ship with behind you and your pilot's a low-ranking pilot, he crashes into everything while you're flying your fighter ahead, and even then you've got to keep an eye on him because you don't want to go too far away. But I really do like the look of the new fighters. I know, like you pointed out, there's a few people saying they look a bit too sci-fi-ish, a bit too fantasy. I think people are saying I don't really get that. I think they're looking alien, and their technology is obviously way more advanced than whatever technology we got. So, you know, I really do like the look of them. I probably will go get some. I've got plenty of. I assume they're going to use the vessel blueprints, to unlock.
My assumption.
Yeah, if they're going to use that, I've got a whole bunch of them from when the obelisks were glitching out. So yeah.
So they
yeah,
did let
sure
people keep. I was wondering.
Yeah,
if
they actually said
those
that.
from
They
people
actually
or
said
not.
no. They said people could keep them. So
Okay.
a bunch of people filled right up on them. I personally didn't fill
That's
right up.
great.
I've got about 20 of them. I think maybe 30. But
Oh Jesus!
hopefully
Well,
that's
I think
enough.
you only need.
Yeah, hopefully that's
yeah.
enough. Yeah, other people I know, they're in the hundreds. So
Realistically, them removing materials from anyone's storage, the only time they actually done that was during a legit exploit.
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
this wasn't exploit.
no,
that
it was just giving the
developer
wrong stuff out,
fault,
wasn't it?
And
Yeah.
it would not make sense for them to remove something that they fucked up. If they
Totally
allowed
agree.
something to happen and then remove, it'd be like child going saying, "No, you can't win this game because."
Well, especially when it's not game breaking, is it? I mean, they
Agreed,
had that issue with the missions where they were paying out however many trillions, wasn't it, that time?
Yes,
That's
yes,
obviously they've got to
yes,
move
yeah.
that off, haven't they? But
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, and I think the other thing that I think the other big problem with fighters that we haven't said yet is, again, I think they look cool. I'm looking forward to trying them out, right? I like having them as an extra. I think of them as an extra, huge hard point on whatever I'm doing. But the problem is, since we can't mix wings and multi-crew, they're incredibly ineffective, right? Because most of the time, for the majority of players, if you're going to go do Thargoid combat, you're going to do it in a wing, right? I mean, it takes a pretty skilled pilot with a very well-built ship to be able to take down even a Cyclops solo, right? So now that I can't do that in a wing, it just immediately limits the usefulness, right? I mean, I've been screaming for the longest time, stop spending your time on this and just complete the features we have. Give us fucking wings and multi-crew mixed.
Yeah.
Give us multi-crew SRV, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm so sick of not having those two features.
And someone's got a question
Exigeous.
for you, Exigeous, here in
Yeah,
chat.
sorry.
Go,
Yamiks.
go.
They're asking, what do you think, or how do you feel the Shard cannon for the Guardian ship launch fighter is going to be versus the Thargon swarms? I think it's going to be very good.
Useless. I mean, it's a shotgun.
Yeah,
I mean, sure,
don't know.
it makes sense, but
The
I
current
don't know.
Shard cannon isn't super effective. It's the most effective of them against the swarm, but everything pales into comparison to the flak launcher, right? I mean, if you're going to go for the swarm, you've got to use the flak launcher, period, right? So I think that, to me, I look at the fighter as something that just can maybe distract the swarm a little bit, right? Or just be a little bit of a distraction for the interceptor to go after. Otherwise, I think it is good if they really do have stronger shields, if they are a little tankier, because even the current Taipan AX fighter it's just not necessary. I mean, you can solo one without it really easily. I mean, if I go in my crate and I forget to take a crew member, I don't turn around and go back for it because it's just not that big of a deal. I think I'm more looking forward to them just because it's a new cockpit. They look cool. I'm guessing they're going to glow kind of blue. I'll have fun in them for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then that'll probably be about it.
I think
That's
it's
how-
odd that they didn't introduce remote flag launchers on fighters. It would
I agree completely.
It makes so much
Yes.
sense if they
Completely
introduced
agree.
a fighter you could take out, and then that fighter could go and battle
Yep.
the Thargon swarm, while the main mothership would then focus on the mothership. But
Yep. And maybe they will make its Shard cannon more effective against the swarm for that very reason, Astro. But I if it works like the standard one, it's not going to be, right? It's still going to be the flak launcher that's going to be the key, right? Yeah,
This seems
Yamiks,
like
did you have?
a weird choice. Then. I mean,
I completely
true-
agree.
true.
Well, I
mean-
think they went simple. There's 3 of them. There's the 3 Guardian weapons. Put the 3 Guardian weapons on the 3 fighters. Easy peasy. I think it'll be interesting to see if somebody tries to solo a Cyclops with only a fighter, right? I'm sure somebody is going to try to do that. I'm guessing the Gauss cannon one would be the only way to do it, and we'll have to see how powerful they are.
Well, the whole multi-crew and wing mixing thingamajig. Right, so Exigeous, yeah, you said that it'd be nice and so on and so forth, but even so, when you think about the multi-crew and how useful that might be, would you actually take, let's say, a wing of 4 ships, 4 people, 4 players in 4 ships, or a full ship with full multi-crew?
No, I would be fine with it.
I
being
mean,
limited
three ships in one.
Well, yeah, so I would be fine with it being limited to 4 commanders, right? So if you've got one ship that's got one human, one commander crewmate and then 2 commander wings, so you've got 4, right? Because I do think there's a problem of, let's say you've got a wing of 4 corvettes, well, each corvette has 2 human commanders in it in their fighters. Now you've literally got 12 humans in 4 vets. That would be way OP, specifically for PvP. Right, I think that would be really out of balance, right? But I don't see any reason why you wouldn't mix. I'm in a crate, Ant's in my fighter, you're in a chieftain, and Down to Earth's in a challenger, just to make it up, right? And bam, there's 4 of us, because so many times, at least with me anyway, 2 or 3 of us will be doing something like Thargoid combat. A friend will say, "Oh, hey, what are you guys doing? Oh, can I join?" And we're like, "Well, yeah, but we're down in Pleiades, and do you have a fully engineered ship?" Oh, well, no, I don't. It's, oh, well, if we could mix wings and multi-crew, bam, all of a sudden multi-crew is super useful, right? People would get to enjoy it and get to use it. It would help. The only time I ever use multi-crew is if I'm exploring and I want somebody to jump in my ship so they can jump in the third-party camera so they can get a view of something. That's just about
that's
the only
literally
time I
the
ever
most useful this multi-crew has ever been, to be honest.
I think there's a pretty what the hell? I think there's a pretty easy explanation to why they don't mix multi-crew and fleet or wings, and that's simply because of instancing. I mean, I've tried several times, and I assume you guys would have tried it as well. When you do stuff in larger groups, as soon as you move out above a wing, so 4 people, get behaviors with ships being alive on some
garbage,
and being you can't kill them. It's just a bug fest, and just
it's mostly to do with it's mostly to do with just network netcode. The fact that the game just simply for whatever reason doesn't seem to enjoy having people around.
Yeah, so, see, this really is the thing with upcoming squadrons, isn't it? I know someone's already asked Frontier, a couple of people asked Frontier, are they going to improve or change the whole way instancing works? And surprisingly, it's something they did actually answer, and they said it's not going to change. The way it works now is the way it's going to work.
Squadron is a guild system, not a wing system or just a group system. Again, guild system is a bit different, obviously. Yeah, it involves people, but it just lists people that are with your so-called guild clan. I don't know even how do you want to call it, but yeah, basically guild.
You're saying management system, yeah.
Yeah.
Just manage your group.
Yeah. There you go.
Are you guys sorry off topic? Are you guys having sound issues from my end? Either breaking up?
Well, you keep cutting off here and there, so
yeah,
breaking up
not
terribly.
Bit, yeah. Yeah, not terribly, but just a few times. I just wanted to make sure you knew.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to adjust my input sensitivity, see if that helps. If not, if it persists, I'll switch over to the client instead from the browser.
Okay.
Do continue.
Okay. Fighters. Let's see. So what? I mean, there's not much else I can say about the fucking fighters. I mean, it's 3 more ships. It's nice that they are differently looking than just the same ship, like, in Imperial ones or Federal ones or the Lacey ones, right? It's nice that they are actually 3 different ones.
Yeah. So talking about hybrid ships,
so they actually put in fucking effort making their designs. So good on you, devs. Yeah. Good on you.
Do you think we'll ever see full-on ships that are hybrid ones? Obviously, they're the ship-launched fighters.
But who knows?
It's
I don't think for a while. Yeah, I don't see that happening before whatever Chapter 4 is going to be. I would be surprised, but they've surprised us before ships, so
It'd be nice to see some variations on the current ships, just slight differences. Adapted with the adapted with Guardian technology, or maybe even Thargoid technology.
Yeah, what if there were more Guardian modules? What if there were like Guardian thrusters or Guardian shields?
Yeah, because
I know
it eventually they will be there.
You think?
I mean,
Definitely.
I don't think we already see. I didn't see. Okay, I understood FSD booster was there as a new whole fucking thing, and that was kind of nice. But then they added power plant, power distributor. So at this point, I'm just waiting for the rest of the stuff to be converted as well.
But wouldn't it be
So,
nice to see
I
things
was
change the visual
simple,
appearance
so-
of the ship?
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, you're
we're
using these alien modules, aren't you?
Yeah.
And the ships
Well, what
still
I was
look the
just
same.
thinking is like thrusters or shields could look very different, right? You know, your thruster trails would, you know, have a blue glow. I mean, but you know, something more than just a blue. You know, you get what I'm saying. Okay?
very simple. I mean, if you fit a Guardian, let's say, power plant, then your HUD turns blue instead or something like that.
HUD color changes are not planned anytime soon. So get fucked. I was heartbroken when I heard that from developers.
Basically, they can't do it.
Yeah.
That's the last I heard from them.
They
I
can't
would
do
like
it
to
because...
just see new HUDs, period. Right?
Oh yes, that'd be fucking. I mean, Star Citizen got one fucking thing right, and that was HUD elements being differently distributed and differently colored and what else. It makes the ship also very different.
I agree. Like, you know, does BMW, Mercedes, and Toyota all use the exact same dashboard? Of course not.
Right.
You know, that's effectively what we have.
I mean, do all the manufacturers really have to go through the fucking Pilots Federation to make a ship? Really? Do they really?
At least they do have a lore explanation, but I agree with you, yeah. I think that would add so much more variety to the ships, and you know, hell, that's something I would pay for, to be perfectly blunt.
I know UI design is not easy and tedious and annoying. I've done it.
Not that
but
hard.
It adds a lot of character.
A lot.
So there you go. So yeah.
We want to talk about the Alliance Type 10?
No.
Yeah, let's
no. Just no. I literally don't give a fuck anymore.
Okay, let's. Should we move on to the Crusader?
Exactly.
So the forum post, it says, a new member of the Alliance ship group, the Crusader, acts as the middle point between the Chieftain and the Challenger. A very important difference: a fighter bay.
At this point, I would be more disappointed if I didn't know that it was coming. If they actually didn't leak the Crusader, well, in their store, I would have been a lot more disappointed right now. But even so,
you were already you were pre-disappointed.
Yes, I usually am, but this is just the level of annoyance that I just haven't felt since I reviewed like Vipers. I mean, the first Viper was nice. The second, the Viper 4 is like, are you even trying devs anymore?
I mean, what kills me is the Crusader between the Chieftain and the Challenger.
Exactly.
Isn't there about as much room between those ships as there would be between two fat people on an airplane? I mean, they're
scraping paint already.
Right? I mean, I'm glad to have a fighter in it. I mean, okay, and it's nice to have another ship, but I said this last time, do we need more medium-class combat hull tank ships? No, we got a billion of them.
Shield tanks. We need
shield
traders.
tanks.
We need fucking multi-role
Yes.
ships that are not rank locked for crying out loud.
Completely agree.
I mean, okay, well, let's examine a little bit of the price range of the ships, right? So we have Asp Explorer, 6 million. We have Crate, 45 million. And in between, there's only one ship, and that is multi-role as well, but is rank locked. I mean, there's nothing in between those fucking 40 million for anyone to buy for multi-role.
Yep.
What the fuck are you guys doing with the combat ships? Seriously.
What's the price difference between the Chieftain and Challenger? They're damn near the same, aren't they?
Chieftain Challenger, about 2 million.
Okay, yeah. So the same.
Okay, so one thing, I tried the other day, I thought, okay, so middle point between the two. So I thought, okay, I'll sit down, I'll take up the stats of the two ships, basically the turn layout, to see if I can kind of guess where we're going to end up. And just by looking at the hard points alone, I mean, the difference between the two is one changes 2 mediums for a large, and that's it. There's not a lot there to to put in between. So I was thinking, okay, are we going to have, like, lose 1 medium hard point? What's going to go on here? I don't know.
Yeah,
as I said, I literally don't care anymore.
Well, you know what I just noticed, actually? I'm just thinking the numbers. I see on there, I just looked at the picture and see that it says hard point 04, and all of a sudden my head went, that's going to be a huge, but no, it's just number 4 of the hard points. Because the layout looks Does it look the same as the Challenger? It's not the same as the Chieftain. Looking at the picture, at least it doesn't look like it that I can tell. Because the Chieftain has the two smalls flanking on the top, and this one doesn't look like it's got it that way.
No, I'm looking at it right now. I can't see any location that indicates that it's where the hard point should be. Oh, this is
You know what? Actually, if you look at the picture, Astro, if you look back near the wing, are you seeing white text and yellow text like there would be a hard point back there toward the back? More kind of like right in the top middle? Yeah, so I'm guessing that's a little further back than where the large hard point on the Challenger and Chieftain is now, right?
Does it say hard point on those orange
It's hard
texts?
to tell in the... I think the orange part is the number, and then the white text is like hard point, and then the orange text is like 01. If you look at the other labels, that's what I'm thinking it is.
I can see one on either side. So there's probably one mirrored where number 1 is, right? On the other side.
Oh yeah, and I'm seeing the two smalls too now. So it looks like there's maybe a medium right up front, or maybe that's a small right up front, a large right behind it, two smalls flanking it, and then maybe another large in the back.
I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, I see 5. And then you got to think there's going to be 1 or 2 on the bottom.
Six. I count 6 hard points.
Where are you seeing 6?
Mirrored from where number 1 is that we can't see because on a sloped surface.
I'd agree with that. Okay, you know what? I'd agree with that. I get what you're saying. Yep. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on top, and then if there's, I would say at least 1 on the bottom. So if it's got 7, all right. I mean, it's nice to have that many hard points for all the experimentals. That's what the Challengers got.
Put 3 hard points in line in the middle, and 1 is just because they had to be on one side. So I mean,
no, I'm thinking you're right with what you're saying, that they could be flanking, although I don't know where the opening would be for for hard point 01. If you think the other 02 is maybe on the other side, I don't know where the opening would be. Maybe it is just labeling that one right in the middle.
Up its ass.
Large. Yeah.
That's where the fucking opening is.
Regardless, do we really think it's going to be significantly and even marginally different than the Chieftain and the Challenger? No.
No. I mean, the ship launch fighter does add a lot already, but that aside, I mean, it's just like the fucking Python and Crate. Really, there's so little differences that it's not even fun reviewing it.
Doesn't the ship launched fighter effectively render the other 2 ships useless?
It depends on how it handles. I was just about to say that actually.
It won't handle as well. It obviously has more weight. It will be more pricey.
I'm guessing.
Did you see the video there?
Analog,
Frontier. They said it's
analog to basically a gunship. That's all it is.
Yeah, they said they handled very similarly. I think. Pretty sure they said that.
Well, and what I just am thinking about, if there are, and now I'm actually thinking there's probably 5 hard points on the top. There probably aren't any hard points on the bottom because of the ship launch fighter. Because if you think about it being, if you think about it being between the Chieftain and the Challenger, you wouldn't think it's got more hard points or DPS than the Challenger, right? And if you're going to swap a hard point for the bay in the bottom, I would think we're looking at 5 hard points on the top and a ship launch fighter bay in the bottom. That would be my guess. And that it won't handle nearly as well as either of them because of that extra. Just like I think Yamiks just said, because of the gun.
Someone's just pointing out that apparently on Galnet they've mentioned that exactly that it's going to be a little bit slower because of that. A little bit slower and less maneuverable. Yeah. Apparently there's something on Galnet. I haven't seen that, but
okay. That would make sense.
Yeah.
Galnet to say. All right, let's take a look. What do we got? Oh boy. Alliance Crusader.
Either way, I go back to what I said before is anybody clamoring for another medium class hull tank?
No.
It's nice to have the fighter. I'll give it that, right? But it's more like, why didn't we get this? With this, you just made the point with this. I think this is going to completely render the Challenger obsolete. Why would you use the Challenger? Right, the Chieftain at least runs cold and it's really maneuverable. I'm assuming it's going to be compared to this anyway. It's got excellent hardpoint placement, so why would you use the Challenger anymore?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, give me a sec. I'll go over the details. So, Lakon Spaceways has announced that the new ship, Alliance Crusader, will be soon available for purchase. Miracle, what the fuck ever, the head of military projects at Lakon gave some details on the media. The Alliance Crusader is mechanically similar to Alliance Chieftain, with one key distinction. Our engineers have removed some internal hardware. So what the fuck happened with the Challenger? Whatever. Moving on to accommodate the fighter bay. Inevitably, this means the Crusader is marginally slower and less maneuverable than its siblings, but this is compensated by its ability to ferry fighters into a conflict zone. Okay. The Crusader's offensive capabilities are enhanced with 3 internal military compartments. So, woo. Anyways, we are confident that the ship will be able to hold its own in any combat situation, especially against the Targoids. Yeah, fucking right. The Alliance Crusader will go in general sale on Tuesday, blah, 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 basically the launch day of the... There you go. I don't care. I don't care. That's it. Simply, I don't care.
Yeah. Well, and I was actually just thinking, I bet you the other thing they'll do is, my gut says, when you just said about the internals changing, I bet you it's either got one less maybe, or a smaller something, or it's going to wind up, I would almost bet money, it's going to wind up with less overall armor than the Chieftain does, because of and not only because of the fighter bay, but that's how they're going to balance it, right? They'll make it.
Is the Crusader going to have another useless compartment for combat?
Oh, I'm sure. Well, actually, a 6. Well, a 6 would
military ships.
Well, but Yamiks is getting at having a class 6, and the Crusader is worthless because you're not going to put a cell bank in it, right? So you're going to wind up putting a hull or a module reinforcement in it, so you might, which only go to class 5. So that slot is kind of ridiculous, but with a ship launch fighter, that does change.
Still doesn't make sense. Yeah, I mean, okay, maybe they'll just have the same amount of compartments as in Challenger, just maybe some smaller ones are being removed or something. I don't.
The only thing I'm glad about is I would assume it's going to have the exact same core internals, and I don't have to go engineer another set of modules.
If it's,
there is that.
The retarded thing that they could do is put in 3 class 6s.
I would agree with that. That would be retarded. Yes, that would be stupid.
That's just. I'm at this point, now that I think of it, it's a big possibility, and I'm already fucking disappointed. Well, I guess the review is gonna be fun.
You know how to disappoint yourself. Generate your own disappointment.
We just got a preview.
Okay, so
but before we move on to anything else, there, I mean, we're on the topic of ships. Anyone want to briefly speculate about? I know you don't like speculation, Yamiks, but the potential Crate Phantom.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say.
Oh, you was going to say that. Okay, sorry to jump in there like that.
Just to recap.
Okay, my speculation. Oh, sorry. Go.
No?
Yeah, no. Go ahead. Go ahead. He said go, not no.
Yeah.
So, while just at about the same time as when the crate was introduced, on the shop, if you change some of the IDs in the URL, you were able to get up in the list for both the Crusader, but also for a ship called the Crate Phantom. Since then, it has now been removed from the store, and we've heard nothing of it at all. Question is, will there be a second ship introduced in this patch called the Crate Phantom? And if so, what's going to be and why they're not telling us about it?
Because they are leaving the details to be revealed by some random gaming website as a exclusive for them.
God, yeah.
I shit you not. That's my fucking expectation at this point.
So you're
thinking
my
cynical expectation.
So you're thinking we'll get the Phantom? They just haven't.
It's gonna be another fucking trailer. Yeah, basically.
You're saying that they're going to use it to try and
being given to someone else.
You're saying they're going to use it to try and generate some hype, yeah? To try and generate some media interest.
I mean, patch is coming out in 4 days. They need to get that trailer out pretty soon.
I'm actually surprised we haven't seen it yet, to be perfectly honest. I thought it was going to drop today.
And I haven't seen anything, but unless someone
so do you guys,
chat.
So do you guys think the Phantom is going to be like, when I hear Phantom, I don't know why, but I hear like a lighter, faster version.
A lot of people have been expecting that, so
I've seen I've seen some people speculate the stealth ship.
Yeah, but
hardly.
Except it still doesn't work against NPCs. So what would the point be?
Yeah.
Right. We know they don't do shit to promote PvP, so I would have a hard time believing it was. I mean, I agree that from the name it sounds like that, and it would be fun, but since stealth isn't really an option anymore.
But it could just be a version of the the crate that just runs even colder.
Do you think it could be a small class?
Might be.
Do you think there's any possibility there?
Yeah.
There are already small ships for every role imaginable, so I highly doubt they would be saturating, but hey, who knows?
Yeah, but we haven't gotten a new small ship in years. I mean, I get you're right, Yamiks,
but the Crusader that Frontier is no strangers to adding ships into locations.
Right, you're right. Sorry.
No, you're right, but no, it's a valid.
I expected more from Frontier for whatever odd reason. Sorry for overestimating their ability to think. Sorry, folks. Sorry, I was wrong.
Personally, I would love to see a new small ship. I love the small ships; they're my favorite. So I would love to see a new small combat ship that looks different, right? That's like something like the crate, right? I think that'd be great.
That'd be great, yeah.
That'd be great.
Oh God!
I'll show myself.
Ant, what's your thoughts on what it could be?
Well, it's.
Or what would you want?
That's what I'd like it to be, and what I suppose it possibly could be. What I'd like it to be is a complete variation on the crate, rather than just a minor variation, something completely different, maybe a hybrid ship. That's what I'd like to see. That visually looks hybrid between Guardian and human tech. So a bit like the fighters that are coming with this update. But I probably won't happen, so maybe it'll be like a variation on what we got between the Chieftain and the Challenger, which means it probably wouldn't be too different. It's already got a fighter bay in it, isn't it? So it's not like they'll be adding that.
Yeah, right.
It's already pretty fast and pretty maneuverable, isn't it?
It is,
to be honest.
And I tell you, honestly, I think the crate. I don't want anybody to yell at me for saying this, but in some ways, it needs to be nerfed. That huge distributor specifically, it makes the thing so overpowered, right? I mean, we figured out that if you've got an engineered distributor, charge enhanced distributor, if you leave your distributor at 1.5, you can basically perma boost with it. Right, it's because it's that huge class. In fact, I run a class
I've
6
been doing that myself with it.
Yeah,
we just keep going.
It's fun.
Exigeous.
Are you gonna shoot me now?
Yes. No. How about we don't nerf Python? Okay. How about we don't do that? Okay. I love my Python. I stroke my
I'm saying the
Python.
crate, not the Python.
Just no. Shh.
Okay.
Crate is underpowered. Crate is underpowered. That's
Okay.
it. Crate is fucking underpowered. Python is even more underpowered. Please bomb.
Yeah.
Okay? Shh. Folks, shh.
Okay. I didn't say that. Yeah, no, I didn't say that. Sorry.
Good. Oh boy.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of people saying the same thing to you now, Exigeous. Damn it, Exigeous.
I'm sorry. I won't ever say it publicly again, everybody. I'm sorry. I guess, you know what? I could self-nerf it and just run a Class 6 distributor on my own ship, couldn't I? Right? There we go. I'll just do that, right? I'll make my own personal narrative of a nerf.
With blackjack and hookers, yeah.
Do we want to talk about the engineers out in Colonia?
Yes, I think we do. Should I
burn the
it?
bubble? That's all I'm gonna say. It's about the fucking time.
So,
You sound like DJ.
Yes. Plural, there's going to be multiple of them. There's going to be added in the Colonia region, which is the region far away, and close to the center. They will be available to commanders who have interacted with Farseer, Elvira Batuk, the Dweller, Liz Rider, and Blaster McQuinn. And that's all the entry-level engineers that are public, so the ones you would know about when you start. So it's not that bad. It's not like you need Marco Quint and Palin to do it. with all existing engineers, they're able to add on. Yeah. Okay, but the main interesting thing here is it seems that they will unlock in tiers. So when people interact with them as a community, not as a single player, they will slowly begin to unlock more and more blueprints. That's how I understand it.
That's how I read it, yeah.
Community goals, people. Community goals for unlocking more stuff for engineers. Yeah.
Oh, I bet you that's what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
I bet you're right.
I mean, come on.
Didn't this happen? Didn't this happen with the Thargoid weapons?
The Guardian tech. With the Thargoid weapons.
Yeah.
That
In the end, everyone
horrible.
kicked off, didn't they? People got so fed up with it that Frontier essentially
No one
said,
cared by the end of
Yeah.
it.
Frontier
Sure
basically
did.
said, "We've realised we made a mistake," didn't they?
And it only took like 4 community goals. First one, okay, everyone was hyped. Okay, go for it. Second one was okay, yeah, let's go. And the third one was like, no, please,
Yeah, because
no. And the
basically-
fourth one was like, fuck no.
People didn't turn up for them in the end, did they?
Yeah.
Well, and remember, that was the only that when I remember the first one was multicans, if I remember right, or maybe it was missiles, and we only unlocked the medium ones, right? Because the CG only ended, and I'm making this up, like grade 3 or grade 4, whatever it was, and so we only unlocked the medium class ones, and then everybody's like, well, fuck this, right? So we don't care anyway. Nobody cares that much anyway, and now we have to work much harder. Otherwise, we get these shit weapons, so we're getting punished in a way. On top of it being a lame way to roll this out, and by the end, you're right. Everybody was like, pretty much, fuck this. I didn't do any of it, right?
I did the first one a little bit just to participate, but yeah, I'm not big on community goals. I've said in the past, it's like the worst thing you can do to a good thing is make it mundane, and that's what they've done with community goals, and making it even further with Targoids, making it even further with these AX weapons back in the day.
Yep.
Just
There's some
no
people who
wonder
have
no one cares.
Well, and then they eventually just
people who
gave
have-
us the large AX weapons, which I don't think they planned, obviously, to roll it out that way, but they just realized they had to, because there was no way we were going to grind out another CG for large versions of the weapons.
Of course not.
There's some people who have some concerns here that they now have to go and fly all the way to Colonia to get some new engineering modifications. I don't think that's
no.
going to be the case.
No,
I don't either.
They're the
The
same.
Colonia engineers, basically, it's easy to predict at this point. They will be just to burn the bubble, or in case the bubble is being burned, so they don't need to port all the fucking engineers straight away from the bubble to Colonia, so that there are already established ones, in case that narrative comes to play, because who the fuck knows how the community will react to full-scale warfare and whatnot else, whatever they are planning after like 10 fucking years of this game. Who knows, maybe that'll come at that point. But anyway, these engineers that will be in Colonia expect to be just a blend of existing ones already, just differently tiered, I suppose. Like we'll have Celine Jean mixed with Marco Quent or something like that, or basically something like that.
That was going to be my question, guys. Do you think that that's how they're going to do it, so that all engineering will be available in Colonia, or do you feel like it's only going to be the engineering that the 5 that they've listed are going to offer?
Well, didn't they say?
Celine...
Didn't they say that people have got to work together to upgrade the engineers, haven't they? Because they start off as grade.
They did say that they'll start up at grade 1 only, right?
But
And I think
they'll
they
only
said
go up to
only
grade
to
3. Yeah,
That's right. But I guess my question is, do you think you're going to be able to do grade 3 hull reinforcements out at Colonia? Right, because and maybe I'm wrong that only Celine does grade 3 hull, but you get my point, right? Something that those 5 engineers don't normally do, like Ramta does heat sinks, for example, like lightweight heat sinks. Do you think you'll be able to do heat sinks out at Colonia, or
yes?
not?
I might be wrong, but I'm sure I saw somewhere them saying. Let me see if I can find it. I'm pretty sure I saw someone saying from Frontier that there'll be more modules mixed in over there. They're basically there. Although there's less engineers, they'll have a greater variety. Let's see if
Essentially, don't expect any new unique engineering pieces there. It's just going to be mimicked of what we got in the bubble, just that perhaps at first, at least, with the lower tiers. Maybe later they will give grade 5s here and there, but expect just grade 3s all over the place. That's it. Just so people don't have to go back.
I mean, I think, being honest, grade 3, unless you're doing PvP, grade 3 engineering really is great. I mean, it's obviously always nice to min-max, but if you're not PvPing or not doing, really high-end combat, for the most part, I think grade 3 upgrades for your average player are more than, are adequate, I guess I would say.
Hey, I'm building a fucking exploration condom min-maxed.
Well,
and yes, exploration.
I do
Hey,
too.
there are elitists in exploration too, you see? Well, I'm not quite one of them, but I'm going for that. Yes. So, combat is not the only thing in this game. Surprise, surprise.
No, well, I know. It's what I do the most.
Sometimes I do forget myself, because, well, we get combat ships galore, we get weapons galore. There's nothing outside of combat that seems to be introduced in the game. At this point, at least. I don't know.
And
at least not till chapter 4. You're right. Seems everything's combat at the moment, doesn't it? What I was looking up is there was a post on Reddit, and I'm trying to find the thread, where one of the community managers replied to someone asking about the engineers, because someone asked exactly what you was asking there. What modules will they have? What sort of variety will be there? I'm pretty sure they said that there will be a greater, although there's less engineers, they will have a greater variety. I may be wrong, but
okay.
I'm just trying to find that.
Hope that it would work that way.
Find that comment. I'll let you know when I find it anyway. It was in one of the threads here. While we're on the subject of engineers in Colonia, what do you guys think about the fact that people who have been out there for years and maybe have never interacted with engineers are going to have to come all the way back to the bubble to start the unlock process?
I think that's...
I recommend waiting for the bubble to burn, then everything is going to be in Colonia, hopefully. But yeah, my cynical self can't see that happening fully.
No.
Because that's too much fun.
Yeah.
I hope so.
It's too much fun, so... It's too much fun. I highly doubt it's going to happen. Again, it's too much fun. You have to be careful about the fun that you do, right? Right.
I guess part of my question to that is, do you think the majority of folks that are out at Colonia are already engineered to that level, to got those engineers unlocked? I mean, or do you think that there are a lot out there that don't? Like, I don't know which way. Yeah, I'm not sure which way I think it would be.
Can you say that again? What did you mean?
No, I'm just asking, like, so, the people that are out at Colonia, do you think the majority of them already have those engineers unlocked, and that they probably did that to engineer their exploration ship to get them to Colonia in the first place, so it's not as big a deal if they did require an unlock in the bubble? I mean, I think that would suck, don't get me wrong, but I'm wondering
I do know some
how big
people,
that impact would be.
I know some people who have been out in Colonia ever since the Jack Station first arrived out there.
Was found,
and
yeah, okay.
I don't think there was any engineers at that point, was there? When Jack's got
No,
there?
there weren't.
No.
So
yeah, there are a number of people out there who, I don't know how many there are, but there's some out there.
Some weirdos.
Yeah, well, but what's the point of making them come back? What gameplay purpose does that serve?
No, I agree. I completely agree.
Literally, I can't understand why they need to come back. Yeah.
The reason?
Because it's fun.
The reason is personal motherfucking narrative, buddy.
Yeah.
It's personal
that's
motherfucking narrative here. So there we go.
And you got to think too, you're right, Ant. If they're already out there and they don't have engineering, ostensibly they wouldn't have the Guardian FSD booster either. So it's not like, it's not like somebody who would have a 65 to an 80 light year jump range in an Asper and Anaconda, where it's really, if you use neutrons, a 2-hour trip, and it's not a huge deal. Right, for them, it probably is a much bigger deal.
Yeah, I mean, let's put it this way: I've got like perhaps many of us, I've got multiple Elite Dangerous accounts.
Yeah.
The first account I ever had, I used as my Kickstarter account. I used as an exploration one, and that's still out at Colonia right now. It's been out there, well, ever since Jack Station arrived, and that's got no access to engineers. It's got lousy jump range, 30 odd light years, maybe 28 light years, and that's that. I'm not going to be able to engineer that. He's going to have to come back,
and you're almost stuck. Yeah.
Well, either that, or I self-destruct, purchase a Sidewinder in the LHS 3447. Yeah. Unlock the engineers.
You know what? It's interesting.
Pin some recipes, and head on out.
Yeah. I bet you're right. I didn't think about that, but I guarantee you that's what people would do. Because why would you? I mean, why do you want to sit and jump all the way home?
it would take more than 7 fucking hours just to get back.
Yeah,
I mean,
you might as well shave.
In 7 hours, I've done with the jump a conde, so it will take 10 hours for a normal person, or maybe even 14 fucking hours to just get back.
Yeah, so you might as well just
In
self-destruct and cut that off.
Indeed.
Completely agree. I mean, you're paying, you're losing the cost of that ship, but it's worth it for the time, the time loss.
Oh, the
right?
time savings are just
exactly.
Yeah.
I've been
so mystery solved.
Trying to save some time off.
If what's gonna happen is that it's basically gonna be the existing engineers that was listed that's gonna open a second workshop in Colonia. So if you have it unlocked in the bubbles, you will also get access to their second workshop in Colonia.
That's how it seems at this point. Just a second workshop is just belonging to another engineer. So that's how I see it, literally.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I just checked with neutrons and a 65 light year jump range. It's 111 jumps from Colonia to Sol, right? So fastest you would do that is 2.5, 3 hours. But like you said, Ant, if you're out there with a 25 light year jump range, let me see what that would be. It's going to be.
It's a lot of jumps to get back.
It's a lot, and it's jumping,
back.
which is it's the least, or it's the most boring gameplay in the whole day. 555 jumps, by the way, right? I mean, that's absurd.
Wow!
With neutrons, it's that many.
How much that will actually go for?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It goes. Let's see. Oh Jesus fucking Christ! I need calculator.
I mean, that's roughly it's roughly 10 hours easily, like you said, Yamiks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You figure time. If
there
you're
you
doing neutrons and you're repairing, assuming that you even have enough materials to be able to synth reloads for your AFMU, and you're going to do neutrons the whole way, because 550 jumps, that's going to be a lot of damage to your FSD as well, right? So yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Should we move on to the next topic?
Yeah.
We have two quick topics left. I don't think they're gonna take too long. We have wing missions. They only call them surface wing missions. They don't really go into more detail with what type's going to be available.
A skimmer killing probably will be given wing mission version. Let's see. POI scanning probably will be wing. No, that doesn't work. Okay.
I think so. And the same with cut the power. Probably not.
Probably not.
Didn't they say we were going to get POI? I thought I read that somewhere that we were getting POI wing missions.
Well, maybe. Who knows? Maybe.
Isn't
cut the power ones.
They've got.
Who knows?
So there's wing surface missions, yeah.
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 Some random ones.
But
probably mining.
Yay!
I would have thought there would be surely not all the missions that are available on the planets. Why would they pick and choose? Takes time, perhaps.
Oh, you tell me. I don't know.
Some of them makes more sense.
I would kind of think so too.
Oh, Yamiks, I love your tone.
I'm like just.
You just sound how I feel. So you sound how I feel sometimes.
I mean, at this point, it's just like when it comes out, I'll be excited or annoyed by it. At this point, Yamiks just doesn't want to even work his brain and get hyped kill hype because fuck hype and all that. And you know me.
Yamiks, to me, you just said a really intelligent thing about this game that I give this advice to all kind of newish players. Don't get excited about any feature until you're either playing it or reading the patch notes, because just about every time we assume it's going to work a certain way, it doesn't. Right, so I try my best not to, I mean, we're doing a lot of theory crafting right now, but I try not to get too excited about something until we know. And I keep going back to multi-crew SRV, right? Like, would we have ever imagined that still a year and a half later that we still wouldn't have multi-crew SRV?
I'm just gonna quickly correct you there, Exigeous. You said that that's sometimes we assume it's gonna work one way and then it doesn't. Sometimes we assume it's gonna work and then it doesn't.
Well, okay, there you go. Yes, you're right. I was totally wrong. Thank you for that correction. Yes.
The thing is, often people were bringing these things up on the forum, weren't they? They're often talking about, I can't wait to fly a ship over the planet while my buddies are driving the SRV. I remember loads of people saying things like that, and I just can't for the life of me think that not once did Frontier see someone saying that? Surely they must have seen that. I mean, obviously they don't read all the forum threads there, but that sort of thing was said so often that I can't believe that they never once saw that sort of comment and thought, well, perhaps we should correct them.
I remember seeing a Reddit post that some guy wrote that he was showing his young son, like 8, 10 years old or something, and his son was constantly going like he wanted to multi-caress RV or something. It was things like this, and his son was just like, well, why can't you do that? That's ridiculous. And it was like seeing it through the eyes of a child who would just, what? Of course you would do this. How can you not do that? And it just, to me, it spoke volumes, right?
And so the father said,
right,
son,
right.
The game says get fucked.
Pretty much.
That's why.
That was pretty much the answer. Right.
And
his son was just so confused.
Said, get
right?
fucked.
Yeah. Right. His son was just couldn't.
Game says no.
Right. Just yeah.
Yay.
But yeah. Well, should we go to the weapons?
Sure, let's go with the weapons. So we got the large version of torpedoes. I mean, fuck me.
Yeah. Wank.
They are. I mean, without engineering, they are already imbalanced as fuck, and they haven't been even touched ever since like. I think since the launch.
I mean, they're just worthless.
I mean, I was in a DJ stream one day, and actually we were talking about something like that the shields are fucking insane these days with engineering and so on and so forth, and the torpedoes also came up. And basically I asked, when was the actual last time the torpedoes were, changed, balanced, or somehow any other way altered, right, to comply with the new game and new features in it. And the answer was basically, if I remember correctly, of course, it wasn't. They were not changed since the launch. So torpedoes haven't been changed, and it shows that. Remember, you can take 3 normal missiles, and that will deal as much fucking damage as 1 torpedo. Yes, missiles have less penetrative power. That's true. But come the fuck on, right? Come the fuck on. And
just somebody
in missile racks, right? Yeah, go.
Oh God. Well, no, I mean, okay, so like the 2 takes there, the missile rack. I mean, oh my God, the missile rack, especially
bye PvP, bye.
It's all right. I guarantee you, the PvP community will agree not to use the large missile rack, right? Specifically, if you I think of a high cap large missile rack and the number of missiles, and for those that wonder, that I'm sure that it's just going to be more ammo, right? So it's not going to be like it's more damage or anything.
I agree.
But the problem is, because it's already, the missile launcher is so OP against all tank ships, right? In combat, for it's, if you're bounty hunting, it's nice, right? Because the medium rack doesn't have much that you can use, and missiles are fun, right? But it's going to be so unbalanced. And then I think the problem with torpedoes, a lot of new commanders specifically will see Reverb Cascade. For those that don't know, that's the effect that takes out the shield generator. So on a cutter with a thermal generator, it takes 5 torps to destroy the generator. So your shields can be at 99%, but bam, they're gone. Well, the problem is torpedoes move at 250 meters a second. Any PvP combat that's worth his salt, as soon as you see, torpedo, attack or whatever, you look at your contacts, you target their torpedo, and you run your ass off, and it never touches you. Right. And so I just think it's such a worthless, and obviously we know why they did it, because it was easy. Right. I mean, how hard is it to add that module that already exists. Right. They need a new skin for it, and that's it. Right.
Yeah.
So that's to me, they're both total, exactly, total yawn.
So one thing that I've noticed, a lot of okay, so if we look at the update from 2 sides, we can look at it from a content side, like what's actually going to add in terms of content value, and the graphical side. I think actually the graphical side is doing extremely well. I mean, they're making when you look at the bases they added, the Guardian ones, they were all different. Layout was different. All the new weapons we're gonna get has nice designs. Nice designs.
So, but
they've been a little lazy with some of the alliance ships, but okay. Design-wise, Elite is doing very, very well. It's just lacking on the content side.
Their artists finally get to flex their muscles a little bit. That's a good thing. That's definitely a good thing. But Yeah, the grind is ever so huge as it was before. Even
Well,
maybe
you know,
even maybe bigger than before. Holy shit!
well, and we get the turreted multi-cannon. Say it with me, boys. The turrets are never the answer. To me, that's just worthless.
It's
right?
skill.
Because multi-crew is worthless.
It's fucking skill. It's so skillful. It's fucking amazing,
exactly,
mate.
Exactly.
It's pure fucking hardcore skill. And if you don't
Totally.
use the goddamn turrets, you're a fucking plebeian shit.
Exactly.
There we go. Right?
Now the thing.
That's
Now
how it
I
works.
will say, I think you guys might agree with this. I'm actually the biggest thing I'm looking forward to. We just got to it. Is the small class guardian weapons. Right. I definitely am looking forward to being able to engage a Thargoid with my Sidewinder or my Federal Eagle or even the Hauler, right? Or the Adder. I mean, you can do it, I guess, already with the Adder, but you get what I'm saying. So I'm actually really looking forward to those because that will give me something new to do with a new ship that I enjoy flying. Right. Sidewinder is one of my favorite combat ships. So getting that for me personally, I'm pretty stoked about it.
Ah, you're a pleb. Come on, you're a
I know.
pleb.
Well, I didn't
Why
argue
not
that.
fucking Hauler? Come on. Why
Oh,
not
I'll go. I'll
Hauler?
try to do one in a Hauler. Absolutely.
Come on, go.
Oh, I've got an
That's
Eagle,
like the
a
best
Hauler, a
fucking
Sidewinder. I've got all of those completely engineered and ready to go. All I have to do is unlock the Gauss cannon, and that's my goal.
Oh,
right?
God. Oh, God.
Ant, what's your take, Ant?
Well, I don't do a lot of combat, so there's not much I can really add to it. And I don't do a lot of combat. I haven't even unlocked most of the weapons from the past updates. I doubt to be perfectly honest, whether I even will. So,
have you done any Guardian or Thargoid combat?
Yeah. I like the. It's not so much that I don't like the combat. I just don't do a lot of it. I really do like the not Guardian combat, the Thargoid combat. Can quite easily take down a Cyclops solo, but I think perhaps a lot of people can do that by this point. But yeah,
I wouldn't say a lot. I mean,
at this point, plasma chargers or Gauss cannons. And
I still use the original AX weapons for that. That's good. I haven't got any Guardian weapons. Haven't even bothered unlocking them.
I don't know if you guys saw this, but
not interested.
The record...
the one of the Guardian unlocks I will do will be the Guardian FSD, but for the weapons, I just honestly don't want to spend the time doing it. I totally understand other people who want to do it, but it's just not for me.
It's horrible. It's disgusting. It's insert another fucking description word. And just
more than happy with the weapons I've got. I like the engineered weapons I've got, and happy with the AX weapons. They still do the job for the Cyclops. I'm not interested too much in trying more difficult ones, but I don't know.
Well,
what's the next one up? They've got the Medusa, isn't they? Is that the third one that comes along? The Basilisk.
The Basilisk and the Medusa, yeah.
I'd like to try and solo that, but probably I'll need better weapons and a better ship before I can do that. So
my Python can't get Basilisk.
The difference between the Medusa the Cyclops and the Basilisk is a huge
it's massive jump. Yeah. Anytime I've tried it, I'm dead more or less instantly. So So yeah.
I mean, I would say that, like you said just then, to anybody listening, I think the one thing that I think everybody should go to, because it takes about 90 minutes tops, is unlock the FSD booster, right? The quality of life improvement that thing offers, I think, is well worth the hour.
Worth it, yeah. That's the one thing I will be having. Talking of weapons, is right if someone, I've got a couple of questions, either for you, Exigeous, or anyone else here. Someone in chat's asking what the thoughts are on, we got mostly offensive weapons. They're asking for defensive weapons and a potential build. So thoughts on defensive weapons, whether there's any in the game or ones that could potentially come at some point in the future. A decent build for a high tonnage hauling. Any suggestions?
There are two defensive weapons in the game.
That's a PvP build. They're decent PvP build.
And the other one is mines.
ECM. Well, if you're talking about weapon, I would say there's point defense, there's ECM. You can call chaff and heat sinks. Those are defensive modules. I don't know that I call them weapons, really. No. I think like you just said, mines. I think mines, especially if you're trying to use mines against people, I think mines are worthless unless you're really good with them and you catch the right commander. Like a lot of people
You're
think,
running
hey,
a meme build. You're running a meme build. That's literally what you're doing.
I mean, I think the thing is, if you're going to run mines, a lot of guys think, oh, I'll run some mine launchers on my trading ship. That way, if somebody interdicts me, I can lay mines out my back while they're chasing me. There's no chance that's going to work. If anybody that's trying to grab you and pirate you or grief you, there's no chance they're going to hit your mines because they're going to see you have them. They're so easy to avoid, right? So in that instance, you are much better served by just concentrating on getting your pips into systems, deploying chats, deploying heat sink, locking a remote system, and jumping. You've got so much shit to do. Do not try to use mines in that instance, right? Yeah, I honestly, the mine launcher is one of my all-time favorite weapons, but it's really difficult to use, right? So it's not something that's simple. I'm curious, down to earth, what your take is, since you do a good bit of combat too.
Yeah, so my take was it could actually be nice to see some, because all those defensive modules all goes to utility mounts.
Right.
It could be fun to see something that would go into hard points, and that could be, I mean, I don't know, some kind of disabling missile that would.
I was just about to say that.
Short while. I mean, we have a lot of it in engineering already, but something along those lines, like something that can help you disable someone, either if they're chasing you, so that could be a seeker missile, or if you're engaging them, that could of course be useful as well. Again, we have some of it in engineering and power play modules, but I would definitely love to see more of that along those lines. I think that could be fun.
I've always thought of something that would, I mean, I know we have dispersal that scrambles gimbals and stuff like that, but something that would maybe screw up your attacker's sensors, right? That would literally like knock their sensors off completely out maybe for 10 seconds or something like that, I think would be interesting as a defensive, just like you said, hard point, right? Versus utility mounts like we have now. I will just point out to make sure everybody's aware of the Guardian module reinforcements, hull reinforcements, and shield boosters, where specifically the module reinforcements are nice because they have a little higher integrity than a standard module reinforcement. So I actually use those now, and or the Guardian shield boosters. If you're building a big heavy shield tank, like I've got a cutter that has without boosters, it has 9,000 megajoules shields. I mean, without cell banks, right? So, I mean, you can get ridiculous shields now, you know, on something like the cutter with those boosters. You can't put any cargo in it, but, you know, if you just want to be defensive.
It could also be fun if we could get something that didn't have an actual effect on the other ships. I mean, we could always go like blind sensors or something, but what about just like outright blind the enemy player? So that could basically be
like a flashbang?
A flashbang, something like that.
Like, sure.
I got a good comment on my end. EMP missile. That sounds like an interesting thing.
Yeah. I mean, because EMP, I think it's a very misunderstood weapon or module, right? I don't think a lot of players use EMP. It's difficult to use, you know, and point defense works well enough, except for the fact that you should put it top and bottom. So now you've got to use 2 slots for it, right? And if somebody comes up against you with pack hounds, forget it, right? Point defense isn't going to stop pack hounds at all.
It's
literally designed to get around point defense.
Right.
The thing is with ideas like EMP missiles, you're always going to get people who start wanting to interdict you and completely disable your ship. I mean, we've got the.
I mean, that's fair.
We've got the weapons that can kind of do that, isn't it? Yuri. His weapons.
Well, there's the FS, the
kind of do that,
the
yeah.
disruptor missile, yeah.
But it always puts me in mind of EVE Online. I don't know how many of you have played that. I used to play it quite a lot. A few years back.
I tried to get into it, but just I can't.
Oh, it does take time to get into. But one of the thing there is players will always they've got a thing called webbing. At least it used to be called webbing. I don't know what it is nowadays, but basically because wherever you go, you've always got the chance of a player intercepting you, whether you're just mining away in an asteroid field or whether you're doing a mission somewhere. There's always a chance someone's going to discover you and come and find you. And one of the things like you can do in Elite, you can try and boost away and warp away, can't you, if you're not going to combat log, if people combat log. But one of the things people,
Well,
one of the weapons they got in, or one of the modules they got in Neve, is they web you, and it basically reduces your speed right down to 10 meters a second. So you've got this ridiculous speed. Yeah, you can't move, you can't do anything, you can't fire at them, you can't escape, you can't go into warp. You just have to sit there and take whatever it is they want to do to you.
Well, I was actually a minute ago going to call. I pretty much call the ground bomb the combat logging missile, because I swear to God, 75% of the people I hit with it combat log.
Yeah.
Because they, I think a lot shit their pants. All of a sudden, they're like, "Wait, I can't. What's wrong? I
can't do anything." Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
And you can always, there's always a possibility that can be taken to such extremes. And I think, personally, in Eve, I think they've taken it far too far. Because if you're gonna try and attack another player and you're giving them absolutely no option to escape, you might as well just have an instant kill. Why not just interdict them and instant kill them? You might as well, for all the difference it makes.
But that's why
I get your. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ezra.
That's why I think something like a flashbang, as we talked about, could be really, really fun. Because that could harm yourself. If you don't manage to turn away before it goes off, I mean, you're going to be as blinded as the other player.
Sure.
And
exactly.
That's why the flashbang would work well as a defensive weapon. Because imagine you're being interdicted, and you're running away. You fire off a flashbang. That thing will go off behind you, so you'll not be looking at it. Whereas the player chasing you are forced to either turn away, so not to look at it, or be blinded.
Almost like a mine launcher. Like we have the shock mines, which are completely worthless, right? So it's like a flashbang shock mine, right? I think I think that would be. Or maybe
nice idea.
You make it like the remote release flak, or flechette and flak launcher, where you can fire it and then you can control when it explodes, right? That would be a cool way to do it too.
That would be cool too. Yeah.
That's a nice idea.
Click. Space deploy claymores.
yeah, because a couple of people in my chat were saying grenades would be cool, and I think that's kind of what we're getting at, right? It's something like that.
Aren't the fireworks like that? You know those things called flak launchers.
Flechette. Yeah, the flak.
Flak launchers. Flechette is it's basically a piracy weapon, and I mean it does its thing, but it's still a piece of shit. So.
Yeah, so someone in chat just mentioning here having heat sinks do something similar. Maybe you could overcharge a heat sink at the risk of overheating your ship. Overheat your ship to get an extra charge on the heat sink and deploy it, and boom.
Yeah, because they light up so brightly when you're
not. Yeah. You know what I've never tested? You can do premium ammo for the heat sink, so it dissipates 30% more heat. I assume that doesn't make the sink that ejects any brighter. I've never checked.
No.
Oh, but okay, Exigeous, you might know this. Have you ever tested what happens if you go like 8 heat sinks, you just fire all of them at once?
I mean, it will. I fired 4 off before. It doesn't dissipate any longer, right? So if you literally fire them all at once, right? So if you put them on a fire group button, right, where you fire them all at once, it would dissipate you from. I'm going to make up a number here, from 300% to 0, because all 4 of them would be able to do that. So it would dissipate more heat, but not for longer. That's kind of why. Is that what you're asking?
No, so the mechanics of your ship would go cold and your windscreen will freeze over. That's expected. But I was thinking how much light you would get if you were looking at all those heat sinks.
I've never checked that, but I would assume that you get 4 very bright. From what I'm guessing, you get 4 just very bright heat sinks that are all the same brightness, right? It's not like you get one that's 4 times the brightness. You get each of the 4 sinks.
Yeah, they're all the same brightness.
And they're all the same brightness.
Yeah. So,
but I think that would be a cool mechanic. I get exactly what you're going at.
Yeah, because if you're flying in a wing and you're all flying very close together, I mean, if you're at the rear of the pack, you can't see anything for the light from the ships and supercruise. Something like that. Like some extremely bright object you can launch, and if you have that on your screen, you're just going to get blinded.
Just fart out a neutron star.
Yes, the neutron star.
There you go. Just fart out a neutron star. There you go.
Ooh, a black hole launcher.
Oh, God.
A singularity launcher.
The singularity cannon. Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
I would fit that just for the name. I don't care what it does. I would fit that just for the name.
Oh God.
Well, do we want to chat about the teaser at all? Do we want to go? Do we want to?
Yeah, we need to. We need to just. Yeah. Who wants to start?
I mean, I'll start. I put it on the list.
All right, go for it.
basically what, you know, and I'll kick it off and let you guys talk. I've been rambling a lot today, but the thing I brought up with these guys was, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen the teaser trailer that, you know, we've hinted at a lot today, and the fact that, you know, I went to it and scrolled through. The first time I went, I scrolled through 3 pages of the comments. Last time I went, I scrolled literally to the bottom of the comments. And I want to say at the time there was something around 600 comments. And obviously there were replies that I didn't see. But in all of that, I didn't see a single positive comment. The best that I would see, I think I remember one guy said, oh, the new Guardian structure, beacon, whatever you want to call it, looks cool. And I wouldn't necessarily call that positive about it. It certainly wasn't negative, but the rest of it was just an endless stream of, this is not what we want. Why are you doing this? We don't care about aliens. I don't care about Thargoid combat. I don't care about something locked behind a grind wall. Why aren't you giving us, you know, quality of life fixes or bug fixes? Or, you know, we've talked about, I certainly have SRV multi-crew a lot, mixing multi-crew and wings, just an endless stream. And I saw at least 10 comments of people saying, Frontier, please, your community is dying. Everyone is screaming at you. Please listen to us. Right. And that was the biggest takeaway for me and I actually posted a comment that said exactly that and got a lot of likes and comments to it, because that's exactly, I know how we feel that, you know, for a lot of you guys, maybe they're new today. We're sitting here, you could argue that we're sitting here bitching a lot, right? But the reason we're having this conversation is because we love the game. If we didn't love the game, you guys wouldn't know who we were. We wouldn't know each other, right? Obviously, we spend all our time doing this and analyze it because of how much we love the game, right? And so giving that critical feedback when you've got that many people that obviously love the game and are taking that much time to comment and give their opinion when Frontier clearly is not listening to it, we all feel like it's getting to a bad place, right? And with that, I'll let you guys expand on your thoughts on it.
That was a little rant there.
sorry.
It went a little past the whole. It's yet another fucking promotional piece, and let's discuss about the things. But no, okay, well, I don't know how to follow that, but okay, well, just to explain what it was. So if you go right now on the Elite Dangerous YouTube channel, you're gonna find videos and streams and. Well, the video that they did recently to promote or announce the whole new update or chapter, what the else call it? It's stupid. Anyways, so yeah, they made a video announcing it. So that was announcement video. It technically is not a teaser trailer, so I guess we can't complain too much about it. But
absolutely,
sure.
But okay,
sure.
But okay, fine. Even doesn't matter if it's a trailer, if it's a shashlik, or is it just a bullshit, some bullshittery stuff, whatever. It's still a piece that they officially put up for the game to drive hype and so on and so forth. And what did they do for driving hype for the new things that are coming out? Down to Earth Astronomy, tell how much content was in that video.
Yeah, you figured it out.
Please.
I counted it up, and in the 32-second video, 7 of them was actually close-up images of something that we haven't seen before. A lot of people said,
34 was it? Yeah.
I saw a lot of people who said that, there was some close-up shots of a new ship in the and I don't think they referred to the Guardian structure that we saw. But I think most people, what they think is a new ship, it's actually just close-up shots of the Elite Dangerous logo. If you pause
I think you're right. Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
It is. There's no doubt about
Yes.
that. That's the Elite Dangerous logo. They just done close-up of that.
So for a 4-year-old game, at this point, going for the 5 years, I think. This year's gonna be the 5th year, I think.
Yeah.
It's 5th year. So basically, you are putting out an announcement. Promotional piece with a fucking title that everyone really well knows.
Yeah.
How it looks, how it's spelled, and it's just glory shot after glory shot of clip of that fucking thing. And that is what literally that someone had been ordered and been paid to do for the game to promote the upcoming.
Reminds me of a teaser trailer.
Is this the level of stuff that we want to see? Is this really fucking the content that we want to see from developers come out, even as a promotional piece? That's I'm trying to fucking restrain myself not to shout. I'm fighting right. I talked about this fucking bullshit already enough times, and I want to strangle something right now. So I'll give the word to someone else. Obsidian, please.
Yeah,
Go.
I totally agree with what you're saying. It kind of reminds me of the teaser trailers you get for, I don't know, one of those when a new film comes out, like perhaps a new when they first announced the first Avengers film, you get a scroll by of the logo, because everyone's been anticipating it. When's it coming out? When's it coming out? And everyone gets excited. You don't see anything, but you get a logo reveal, and it's because it's something that people have been waiting for a long time, and they've not seen anything for yet. And there you go. This is Avengers. This is what the logo's going to look like. Or a very brief.
Actually,
I don't know if they actually did that for Avengers, but
there was the Guardian. No, not the Guardian, but Targoid.
The Targoid. I was just about to say.
2.4.
Yes,
there was the 2.4 announcement video where they showed basically Targoids flying in the distance. That was perfect little thing, and they didn't need
That's right.
They didn't feel the need to glorify the stupid ass fucking title as if some artist in their fucking team was so proud of this fucking shit that morning that they felt the need to show that shit to everyone.
Yeah.
That's literally how it feels.
And I saw a comment from a friend of mine actually that posted something like, a company with 100 people working on Elite and a $500 million company, and this is what we got for a teaser. I mean, again, I said it a lot. We got to remember, this is not a little company anymore. This is not a kickstarted game anymore. You just said it a second ago, Yamiks. We're starting to get into year 5 of this game, right? We're beyond the point that we get a teaser of the logo, right? We're way beyond that at this point.
At this point, it's beyond stupid.
It would have been
yes,
better.
I made this joke so many times.
Yeah, but the point is pretty simple, isn't it? You can just say it in a kind of one simple sentence. Why would anyone make a teaser for a game that's 5 years old just by revealing a logo that's been around for 5 years?
Right.
And
it makes no sense.
For a patch that is basically a filler thing for that year.
They would have been better served to have just been quiet and not posted it.
Exactly.
Well, I know
or maybe just make a fucking poster. How about that?
A single image,
just fine.
Absolutely,
right?
A single image would have been better than that.
A little bit more focus on the structure that the trailer shows would have perhaps been a bit better. Some more close-ups.
Sure. I mean, they obviously already have
that was meant to be the focus of the trailer, I would assume.
Right.
The structure.
I think there's two main reasons why there's so much negativity around the current teaser trailer. First of all, I think it's because people were expecting a proper teaser trailer, and what it really is just a date announcement. I mean, as someone, I think I saw a comment under the video where people said, "Well, that could have been a tweet," and they're absolutely right. That could have been a tweet, and that's a fair point to make. That the video's point has never been to reveal new content. It was to tell us, here's the date, this is when it's going to come out. Why they haven't done a teaser trailer, I don't know. But I guess that's because there's not really a whole lot to show. And the second thing, I think, is because the way Frontier has decided to do their releases, doing the Beyond series, where they have a huge release in the beginning, then they have a very long time with very, very small releases, and then they have a big one at the end. And we're at the end of that period now, where we only have had small releases, and people are kind of get a little fed up with these small releases. I think a
lot of people have stopped playing the fucking game during the summer, and summer, as a matter of fact, is the one time when a lot of people are taking, vacations, breaks, and having whatever free time, and actually have the time to play the game.
Right.
I mean, sure, there's outside things to do as well, but realistically speaking, nerds like us do play the games a lot in the summer and so on and so forth. I've done that throughout my whole life, and this is the time when you actually can push out some content and have a lot of influx of people. I mean, look at, I think if No Man's Sky wasn't released in summer, and it was released somewhere in the middle of well, after the holiday period, or in winter or spring, it wouldn't get as much, people playing it, because again, not a lot of people have the time. But now, because it is the free time, there are plenty of, freedom going around and what else. So yeah, they get to play the fucking thing, and it is being played. It shows. And what Elite has filler contents during this time. Yep. Great.
Yeah, completely agree. Yeah.
And banking on winter holidays for the big update. I mean, sure, yeah, people spend a lot more money during the winter holidays, but I don't even know what's the plan there.
Well, I think we talked about
whatever.
this a little before this. Is I think that a lot, and I mean we've all seen it in our comments. A lot of people are putting a lot of emphasis on on Chapter 4. Right? I've seen so many people that if Chapter 4 isn't the second coming, I'm done with this game. Right?
Yeah.
And,
I've seen plenty of those too.
Yeah, and I'm curious you guys take on how I think that's very bad for the game, because I don't think it almost can live up to that level of hype. That's what really worries me in a lot of ways.
It won't live up to hype. Nothing ever does, especially with this fucking game. And look at the fucking Targoids. They were hyped to high hell. And fuck, I even got a little bit of a hype in me after that first encounter. It was so beautiful. And it was wonderful to know that, oh, well, there's something that even, Arondo, that like myself, who doesn't care about the story, suddenly starts caring about what the fuck the Targoids are about, right? And then Targoids come out. And what they are right now. Basically a boss fight, a decent boss fight, sure, but the boss fight nonetheless. That's literally all it is.
The thing is with that, it's not so much that there's a problem with the Thargoid content. At least, I don't think so. I think the Thargoid, yes,
the nature
there is that.
It
had too much of a build-up to get to where it got to. But I think the Thargoid fights are great. I really enjoy them.
I do enjoy them too.
Yeah, and I think the whole thing with the damage stations was really good. The first time, flying into those. First time dropping out of warp,
awesome.
First time dropping out of warp and seeing those stations damaged, and then flying inside and seeing all the debris floating around and overheating, and then taking some people out to the rescue ships. That was great as well. And then wondering where the next Thargoid attack is going to be. Seeing a Thargoid bases, it's not really the Thargoid content. At least for me, that's been a problem. A problem is how it's all connected together. It's not connected together. Yeah, there's no. If it's the meat, if you say the Thargoids is the meat, it's just not strung together. Yeah. There's no bones to it. You've got the meat, but you've got no bones to it. And that's for me. That's what the problem is with it. I think if it had been developed in such a way that it was all very well connected, maybe when we first saw the Thargoid bases, we'd find some information there that actually gave us in-game clues and in-game information to lead us to in-game areas where we first started encountering Thargoids. I mean, remember that first Thargoid encounter was sort of out of the blue, wasn't it? It's people were getting predicted in.
Yes.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
But it did look good. But imagine if that had happened from being led to the Thargoid bases come. Did they come first? Yeah, the Thargoid bases come first, didn't they? Or did they come second?
No, we got hyperdicted first.
We got hyperdicted first. Yeah.
First was the hyperdiction. After that,
the bases come about 6 months later, didn't they? The barnacles were before the hyperdictions.
Well, the barnacles were actually
first. So there we go then. Imagine going from the barnacles and eventually finding some sort of information there that led us to hyperdictions.
Yep.
Yeah, you're starting to actually string things together rather than making it happen to random people at random times. And that's where I think the problem is.
Another great example of something that so few people do is actually going and turning on the Thargoid structures or the bases, right? Like collecting all the stuff. That's one of those things that I bet you 99% of players have watched on YouTube rather than actually gone and done it.
Well, I still see comments from people saying they don't even know the Thargoids are in the game or haven't ever seen one.
Exactly. Yep. The continual comments I get, specifically on like my FSD booster video, is how would I have known this was in the game if I didn't follow this on YouTube?
Yep.
And the only answer I can come up with, because I don't even think it was in Galnet, would be you go to a station, you happen to look at Starport services, there happens to be a technology broker, and they happen to be a Guardian one. And then you go, oh, what's this thing? I think that's the only way. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean,
You're not following any media, any patch notes and so on and so forth. Yeah, you wouldn't know.
There's some such simple solutions as well. I mean, Frontier go out their way to make these video clips they put on YouTube, don't they? Not the trailers, but like the Rumtar ones.
Yes,
why are they not? Why are they not at the start of the game? Why, when you log into the game, are you not getting a little that movie played? I mean, yeah, we'd get fed up with it. We can skip it. Yeah, either in the launcher or
put it in the launcher.
Load the game.
Yeah,
up.
I mean, but seriously, you could easily put that kind of stuff right front and center in the launcher, really big. You know, that would be so easy for them to do, right?
It just makes no sense that it's stuck on YouTube and not in the game.
Exactly. Yep.
That's the problem to me, really. It's not so much the Thargoid content or really any of the content. It's just how it's strung together. It's not strung together. It's just everything's independent from each other. There's nothing really linking you from one place to another.
Yeah, one thing that I really missed though is right at the beginning when Thargoid was introduced, they said that we would have some kind of influence on the outcome, and at least from my point of view, we haven't. It's been a railroad. We basically just followed whatever direction Frontiers laid out for us. And what I then really don't understand is, then they introduced this race, the Guardians, and it's kind of like it seems a little bit like there's the good guys and the bad guys. We have the Thargoids, the bad guys. We have the Guardians, which are quote unquote the good guys, who has a lot of technology we can get, and then can help us fight against this threat to humanity. But then when we have to go and get that tech, we have to go to an old ruin from the Guardians and fight the Guardians. And it just does not make any sense to me.
That's a great point, actually.
You got to go to Guardian sites, pillage their lost civilization for their fossilized shit, and then desecrate every single thing that is around. That's literally what you're asked to do.
Well, and the other part too is why, you know, I get a lot of people that say this too, is the narrative part of the Thargoid combat. Like, why are we even at war with them?
Yeah, but use the N-word.
Right? What's the whole point? You know, like we know, like I know most of us, probably all of us have been to the Commander Jameson crash, right? Like that's one of the few kind of lore videos I've done, and so many of the comments on that video were like, "How would I have known this was even in the game? I had no idea any of this backstory, right? Like, why doesn't the game tell me any of this? I didn't know we essentially started this war, right? Like, there's no reason behind it."
I'm gonna channel my inner DJ here. So, so basically, Elite Dangerous is a multimedia what is the project basically? So you got to go and read books, play the other games, and there were some other multimedia thingamajigs that tell the whole story, and the story is so amazing. Okay, I'm parodying him too much. I'm at this point just mocking him. Sorry, DJ, if you're watching, but you know what I'm trying to tell. Yeah. So, okay, fine. It's a multimedia project. Yeah, but the funny thing about multimedia projects oftentimes are that they actually are rather, well, forced to even just explain the things that happened in a more lazy way. But instead of just being in a lazy way explained things that happened before, like in the previous episode or previous season or something like that, like in, you know, TV shows or whatnot else, you're basically told nothing. It's like starting to watch the fucking Attack on Titan from the second season. Like the fuck? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's my comparison essentially.
Yeah,
nothing's happening, but fair. How do you know what happened? Yeah, go and highly research things or read what others have said, and well, probably get misled because of X, Y, and Z detail hasn't been told to you.
It may be that in Chapter 4, this codex they're developing will fix all these problems. You know, who knows what their idea is for that? But everyone sounds convinced.
Right.
The one thing I'd really like to see is all of this being on the Galaxy map. You know, why not combine the Galaxy map and Galnet? So you go to the Galaxy map and you've got a little window in the top right-hand corner or whatever, and
shows you
This has
interesting things that are
happened in this
happening around.
system. That's happened in the other
Yes.
system. You click on it, it takes you right there. You can even have little blooming screenshots, either that people have uploaded or that Frontier have put there, highlighting what
Sure.
you can do there. And
You know, this
Straight
kind
there.
of reminds me of a thing. You know, in MMO games, massively multiplayer games, you know, there has been this one specific sort of a gameplay feature or game feature in general that has helped with the story for a lot of games and a lot of times, and it has been used to very great success in the past, and that's called quests. Right? That I asked about quests to Sandy, and the answer I got was basically mixed. I even asked him a softball question like, "Would you consider putting quests in the game?" You know, something like something that
Very
would
easy to
lead
answer.
people,
Yes.
right? And the answer was even mixed, and answer was so fucking forgettable that I properly forget exact wording that he
Yeah.
used. But it was like, no. What I remember from it was like, nah, not now at least. And I was like,
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Again, if I'm wrong, Sandy, do let me know, because again, it was a little while ago, and actually I have notes. I'll go over them so that you guys carry on.
Should we quickly talk about one last point we had about how we're preparing for the update, what we're doing to get ready?
Yeah, I think that's a good one. Right? If you want, you start.
I can start. I have been mainly. I'm gonna get a Thargoid ship properly ready. I've never really had one fully engineered, so now I've decided it's about time that I actually get one fully done. Which I've been running around doing the stream. Other than that, I will probably be heading out as soon as the patch launches to around some of the Guardian ruins and see if I can come across any of these new Guardian beacons out there, just to see what they are about. But I think that's where I'm going to start at least, and of course make sure that I have some Guardian vessel blueprints so I can unlock those fighters.
Yeah, Ant, what are you thinking?
very much the same. I'll be having a look. Want to have a look at these beacons, see what they're about. Very curious to see. Well, what sort of scale we're looking at there? Are they going to be these little things, or are they going to be these large outpost-sized things that we can interact with, or to what degree can we interact with them? And well, definitely, as I said earlier on, I haven't unlocked much or any Guardian stuff really yet. But the one thing I will.
You haven't personally narrated your.
No, I
personal
haven't personally narrated.
Aww.
No.
Aww.
I've saved.
You have such a great
saving
voice
it all
for
up to do it
personal
all in
narrative.
one go. But one thing I will do, I think, is go get one of those fighters. They look pretty neat, don't they? And I'll have that.
Yeah.
Have that in my anti-Thargoid ship, in my anti-Thargoid Anaconda. So yeah, that's pretty much what I think I'm doing.
Yeah, Yamiks, what are you thinking? What are you planning?
For the next update.
Yeah, I mean, like for what are you
Who
doing?
the fuck knows? Anyways,
Well, to
I'm
prepare
probably
for it, I guess.
just review ship. That's literally the only thing that I usually prepare for. So yeah, expect that, folks. I guess. So there's that.
Yeah, and I'm similar to these guys. I recently engineered out, I think I said earlier, a Sidewinder, a Federal Eagle, and a DBS and a hauler to see, you know, I've got all of the various Guardian stuff that was required to unlock the current Guardian weapons, right? Other than obviously we'll find out what commodity you have to go buy for them, like with the last one. But I'm planning right away to go. I'm a little torn, to be honest. I'm planning on either. I mean, the first day I'll go unlock the small Guardian weapons and go to try to take out a Cyclops with my Sidewinder. I'm not sure if I'll do that first, or if first I'll go check out, like Astro said, go check out the new structures. I'll probably go to the structures first, because I'm guessing, you know, like I'm assuming the rest of you guys, I'll be streaming it, and I'm assuming that's what people are going to want to see on stream, you know, because Thargoid combat.
No one wants to watch some random dude grind for hours on end. Trust me.
Right. So, you know,
Although
I'm thinking
people
going
watch
out.
me, so I don't know why. So there you go.
They like seeing what your joystick's doing that day, buddy.
Oh God, yeah. That's the key there. Good joystick manners and action.
Yeah, but
So,
other than that, I
yeah.
think, you know, if you're into Guardian Combat and you want to go for the small stuff, you know, I added, like I said, I added all 3 of the medium class weapons to my ED Engineering shopping list and made sure I had the mats for all of that, assuming that that's going to be enough, at least for one, if not all of the new ones. You know, I would certainly hope that the requirements to unlock them wouldn't be harder than the medium and large class stuff, right?
No, you wouldn't think so. I would.
I mean, you know, since it was nice in the last update that they, you know, that they nerfed the requirements by 4x. That was obviously a very nice thing.
Wasn't nice thing. Should have been expected.
It should have been. It should have been. It should have been. You're totally right.
It's basically, oh, we made a mess. We cleaned up our mess. Do we deserve a pat on the head? Well, the generation that says that everyone needs a medal for participating, yeah, I guess you would say so, but no. In my case, you unfucked your fuck up. Good job on that, I guess. Not really, but
Right.
okay. Now do something good. Okay, then I'll tell you good job.
Yeah,
And
it's
again,
finding
as I
where
said,
it should have been.
the ship launch
right
fighters
away.
artists have done well. Probably I haven't flown them just from the looks of it. At least the launch for ship launch fighters looks. So that's the only positive thing that I can tell about the upcoming stuff right now. Yay, I guess.
I mean, I think we're all. I mean, I couldn't say I'm not looking forward to it. I mean, you know, new stuff is new stuff, right? I'm certainly not. I'm less excited about this patch of any other patch I've ever seen, which I assume everybody is.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Q4. I hope that's gonna be interesting.
I hope so too. I'm not getting my hopes too high, but I'm as hopeful as I can be, basically.
Well,
I'm personally quite looking forward to Chapter 4. I can see what everyone's saying, that it could potentially be a massive letdown. It's going to be a letdown to some people, without doubt, because people are expecting
Of course.
everything to be
Right,
fixed.
yeah.
So I don't think everything's ever going to be fixed. But certainly I'm looking forward to there being non-combat content. Looking forward to the
Agreed.
exploration stuff, and looking forward to the
Yeah.
seeing what the carriers are all about. I want to see what the mining is all about. Mining could be good. I don't know how long it'll be good for, but
Mining will be awesome.
yeah, it could be something that
oh god.
people go chill out to for
Speaking of that,
a long time for. I hope so. And they certainly need something like that. It'd be nice to go and spend a bunch of time mining and enjoying it.
no,
Yeah, Mix, when you gonna do like a 24-hour mining stream?
fuck you. Okay, yeah, tomorrow I'm doing the 24-hour mining stream.
Wait, that's
Fuck.
Oh, yeah,
tomorrow.
I hadn't seen that.
Yes.
And when you
So
say mining, you're literally going to mine for 24 hours straight.
yeah.
It's got to be better than a
Yeah.
24-hour exploration jump stream, surely.
I don't know.
Jumping straight for 24 hours.
Cool.
At least you see
Yeah, that would be
different
pretty cool,
things. At least you see different things.
Depends if
And
you only
having
jump in
story.
different stars. Yeah.
Oh boys, but anyways, yeah. So any of you are free to come and say hi and all that stuff. I'll be in my Discord and stuff. So.
I'll definitely get the gold digger up if you want to take people
Yeah.
on.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm not looking.
I'll have to
forward
come by and
it.
see if you're an open. Come by and say hi.
Oh,
I assume you
God.
won't be.
At this point, I'm thinking that'll at least make my numb ass feel something. So who
Yeah.
knows?
Is there
Probably
a
I'm
point to it, Yamiks? Like, are you raising?
No,
you know,
no.
is it just
No.
to do it?
No, so the story behind that, quickly for the end of it, is basically one day at the start of the year, I was just doing my typical thing on the stream and so on and so forth. So and so comes in Tom Cook, who provided me a couple of soundtracks for the background music, as well as the great jingle that he did after the Python review and so on and so forth. So yeah, and he decides, okay, I'm gonna suggest him this idea, and yeah, as a joke. And guess what I did? And here we are now. So yeah. So thanks, Tom. Love you too. So yeah, it's
Somebody in my
essentially.
chat said you should do it in open. Tony Curtis will have a field day.
Yeah, I
Yep.
think I'm gonna do it in open, just so I don't get completely numb and
Good for you.
something. Probably. Well, we'll see. That's my thingamajig. So, right. So I guess we are leaving that little special thingamajig for another time.
Okay.
Do we have any other things that we want to discuss before we are done with the 2-hour creators round the table on this today's topic?
I think
think
so. I
we're
mean,
I think we're good. Yep.
I guess the last thing everybody can pitch. I mean, I'm assuming everybody's planning. Well, I shouldn't assume. I'm planning on streaming right as soon as the update goes live. Would I guess you guys are as well?
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty much. I mean, if
Yeah.
you want, we can do a little get together thingamajig.
We could, maybe.
Yeah.
We could.
I'll probably be making
like
a
I
few
said, I'm
videos
with
as
you
usual.
anyways. We
depends
definitely could
what
get
there
together
is.
and do something.
There is a
to
good
do.
question that wasn't answered, I suppose, in today's thingamajig. So yeah, we had the leaked details from the Gamescom thingamajig, and just for the whole clarifying thing, Ed Lewis in that particular video, that particular meeting, did threaten sort of people for the phones and all that stuff. If you hear that, but as it turns out later on in the Reddits of all the places that you don't think devs would go, Ed did respond.
Surprised by that too. Yeah.
Ed did respond by saying that that was supposed to be a joke, and that's all it was. And I understand that it's kind of hard to interpret that easily from his demeanor, because Ed is not
Angry Ed.
the kind of a person that would be, let's be comedic on such a purpose. He's
Right.
more often more serious.
Oh no,
about things,
it's a laugh. If you've spoken to him,
he's very smiling.
But it is hard
smiling,
to
even,
get that.
But yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely hard to get that. I've talked with Ed and Will, of course, personally in multiple instances, of course. It's they're good guys and all that stuff. So yeah, Ed's just I guess easy to sort of sell for an angry guy with that magnificent beard that he has. No, seriously, he has a magnificent.
Well, it's
beard.
also hard for that to. I mean, given the context, it was hard for that to come. If you weren't there to
was.
realize it was a joke.
So
yeah.
that is the official statement that has been given, and we're just reporting on it. So
Do we
yeah.
know what was said after that? Has that come out? Like,
I have no info on that. So
yeah, I don't either. Yamiks,
I don't know anything. No.
Astro. Okay. Okay.
The only thing I've seen regarding it was under the video, people of course asking a lot, but like, what was it? What was it? What was it? And the original poster just said, well, it's already out there, but he was not apparently going to post it in the comment section. So I don't know what it was.
okay, alrighty then. Well, I suppose I don't know. Who wants to do the outro then? In that
Okay.
case,
I don't know how many of you are also staying around, so people know.
well,
If
after
you're
the
hanging around
stream,
for a
of
little
course,
while,
this is
I'll
the
be hanging
official-
around for
this is
a little while.
Of course, the official part that we are just finishing up on the Creators Roundtable.
Yep.
After that, everyone's free to
I'll be
continue
staying
streaming
around for a little bit
episode,
longer when
all
everyone
that.
else has
Same
gone.
here.
So
Same here.
Right.
It's
Oh,
an
don't
intro-
just trying to be
Ex-
since you
Exigeous, do you
introduced
wanna-
there you
the
go.
stuff,
Do it.
Obsidian, go and do an outro then.
oh, just saying about
Yes.
Exigeous doing that then.
No, go, Ant. You haven't been here for
Come
long.
on.
You take it.
Come on.
I've talked
I'm
enough
done.
today.
Oh. Well, that's it. I think we've all had a bit of a nice rant about what we're expecting from Chapter 3. I see one person early on in the comments of my video here talking about how all of us didn't really exactly have much in the way of positive comments to say about Chapter 3, and they think that's a bit of a change over the past few years, really, compared to where we were perhaps a year ago or so. I tend to agree, but we're all here with a lot of what we say is because we like the game, because we love the game. We wouldn't be doing it otherwise.
That's right.
But, you know, at the same time, we all want to try and G-Frontier up a bit, and we'd like the game to move in a direction that's perhaps a little bit better than where it is now. I don't know if Chapter 4 is going to be the answer to that. I don't think any of us really know until we see it, but as Yamiks would no doubt say, let's perhaps kill the hype on that. We'll have to wait and see how it goes, but personally, I'm looking forward to that. We did have a couple of other things planned for this stream, but we're going to save that for another one, I think. I don't know if Exigeous spoke to anyone.
no, I think
Did
it's
you
fine.
tell everyone what we was
Save it
going
for
to do?
another time.
Did you tell everyone
Yeah.
what we was going to do, or we
I
wait?
didn't actually. No.
We can either wait for another time, or you can tell them.
Secrets.
We keep that for another time then.
Yeah, we'll keep it cheeky. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, good. So we ran over a bit longer than what we was expecting.
The teaser will say is it's something fun where we're doing something. We're not just sitting around bitching. I think it's going to be a lot of laughs. I think it's going to be
potential
a really good
to just
make us all look a bit
humiliate
some of us perhaps a bit as well.
Silly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yep.
It's going to be very fun and silly.
But we was hoping to end on a bit of a lighter note, but we ran over, so we'll save that for another time. But yeah, thank you to Yamiks and Exigeous and Down to Earth, and thank you for everyone else stopping by.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a fun one having everybody back, at least, Ant and Down to Earth back, since you guys have been out for a while.
Yeah, been out for a while.
I've missed a few too, so it's been nice. It's nice to get the group.
Exigeous hates me.
Miss Paroxysm today. Sure. No, you're I get enough of your shit as it is.
Fuck yeah.
You know what? We could try this one night. Somebody in my chat just said all of us should have a big PvP wing fight at some point. Right? That would be fun.
I mean, what's the point? I'd be used as a meat shield anyways.
Well, we can split up teams and ships, right? I think that'd be fun to do.
You can all shoot at me.
I suppose.
So
yeah,
and like Ant said, I'm going to stay on my stream, so
I'll be here for a little while longer as well for all those that want to stay around.
The same on me. So I guess that's about it for the evening, and thanks for watching, and have a great Friday, everyone.
Yeah, catch you all soon.
See you guys.
Sounds great, everybody. Take care, bye.
Cheers. Bye now.
Bye.
So there we have it. For those of you that want to stay around, I'll be here for another half hour or more. I think I'll talk with everyone in chat. I think that's how I normally end these things. Spend a bit of time with all you guys because, well, basically I can't talk too much with you directly while we're talking with each other because it's a little bit unfair to talk over the other guys in the stream. So this is a good opportunity to scroll back up chat. I do try and interact with you a little bit as we're going. I'll try and type in there, but a lot of things probably get missed. So what I'm going to do is scroll back up and answer anything that actually got missed. So for those of you that want to stay around, we can do a bit of that right now. Oh, excuse me, a little bit of the burps here. Does Obsidian have a Discord? I don't have a Discord. I do see a number of people keep asking about that though, so I don't know. I have a feeling if I ask, would you like me to have a Discord, a lot of people are going to say yes. I don't know why I haven't really had one. I guess a lot of that is because until relatively recently I didn't do a lot of live streams, I guess. Although I've had a nice community, a wonderful community actually here on YouTube for a long time now. So, I don't know if you guys would like me to set up a Discord. I've had offers for people to set me up a Discord in the past. It's something I could certainly do if you think it would be a nice thing. Trey mentioned personalising mission strands. It kind of goes opposite to a collective narrative, I guess. Should we put a bit of music on in the background here? Seems a little bit quiet now. Everyone's stopped talking. Might be a little bit loud initially. I'm going to just turn it down. No, we don't want that, do we? Let's see what else we got here. If it's too much, let me know and I'll get rid of it or move on. Thought we'd have a bit of something going on in the background. How's that? There. Yeah, totally, Brian. Just want the game to improve. If I sound a bit downbeat lately, it's not all aimed purely at the game. I've been a little bit under the weather for a few weeks, which is one of the reasons I haven't been on these streams, and it took me a while to get over all that. So getting a bit better now. So we're back with the streams. So I did notice, it's quite funny actually, one of the things after that, I did a video on the Beyond Chapter 3 content announcements. I did that on, when was it, yesterday, wasn't it? Was it yesterday? I don't know where the time's going. And quite a few of the comments noticed, oh, Obsidian sounds disappointed with the update, and a few other people saying Obsidian sounds very tired. And yeah, the tired comments were actually spot on. It was more of a case of being tired rather than being downbeat on the game. Tuco So, another depressing Friday night bitch. Yes, always plenty of things to bash on, but as Brian said, it's very much about liking the game. I think even all you guys in the chat here, all you guys and girls in the chat here, wouldn't be here if it weren't for the fact for liking the game. In the gaming world, we make the game what we want to play. It's the games industry ethos. That's kind of true. It's just nice to have the tools in the game to allow us to do that. And I think sometimes Frontier struggle a little bit to actually do that. I mean, a lot of people have gone out of their way to make a lot of great events in Elite Dangerous, and Distant Worlds always comes to mind when I think about that sort of thing. There could have been a lot more tools in the game to make that even better than it was, so that's one of the reasons Distant Worlds 2 is happening when Chapter 4 launches, and we got squadrons and carriers and new exploration tools and all the rest of it. So hopefully Distant Worlds 2 is going to be a lot better than Distant Worlds 1, and Distant Worlds 1 was great. So yeah, the game is what you make it, but the more tools there, the better you can actually make it. Yeah, Agent Exeter, I do agree. There is a good background story in Elite, despite how Yamiks kind of downbeat on it, how he beats it up a bit. It's hard to deny those Thargoid contents and all the rest of it is really good, really well produced stuff. The Guardian site's really nice stuff. The Guardian, even that Guardian puzzle that many people bet up on, was a great little puzzle, but the execution is always a problem. I had to do it too many times. With the Thargoid stuff, it's how it's strung together, not easily connected. Maybe that's what the Codex is going to fix in Chapter 4. I really hope so. Yep, Christopher, it is a good game. They are always adding content. My problem, I think, like other people's problem, it's the pace at which the content is added at, rather than the content itself. Although I guess some people will say it's the content that's a problem. Let's have a look. Oh, you want to see some more gameplay, do you, Daniel? I'll try and fly around a bit as we're talking, but I'm going to try and catch up with the chat a little bit more here. The thing is, I'm actually out near the Gnosis now, so there's not going to be a whole lot to do out here because we're quite a way out from the bubble. I've got no missions or anything like that, so I'd rather really just talk with you lot. Come to the Gnosis on open, please. I'm actually on the PlayStation 4 final edit. I will come there on open though. We'll see if anyone's around on the PlayStation. If anyone's there on the PlayStation on the Gnosis, then I'll be there in a moment. The reason I'll come here on the PlayStation account is because if I come here on my main PC account and I end up in the Formidine Rift, then I'm going to be missing out on a lot of video content for the next 4 or 5 weeks. So I bought my PlayStation account here because it allows me to be in 2 places at once. Hey Mickey, you say about Frontier ignoring us. Let me know specifically what you mean regarding that. I certainly think it's something that's worth talking about, and just maybe we can get some more attention on what you feel has been ignored. Andre, you want to take some screenshots of the mega ship? I'm not... Andre, did you say... I think you said you was a PlayStation 4 player, didn't you? You've actually sent me a friend request early on, I noticed, so... yeah, I'll be there in just a moment then. Yep, Mickey, just got your other comment again there. Why do you think Frontier not listening? Let me know a bit specifically about what you mean regarding that, because I've got a few ideas we can talk about perhaps. The puzzle was great, just repeated too many times. Exactly. The Guardian site and the Guardian puzzle was really nice, just done too many times, and it undermined what it was all about. Been watching you, Pascal Marini. You've been watching me for a year now, and I just got Elite Dangerous. Earned your first 500,000 and bought a Cobra Mark III. You know, that part of the game is probably the best part of the game, the early stages of the game. Absolutely fantastic. I remember earning... Ah, there we go. Someone in local. Earning the your first ship. I remember getting my first Cobra. It's just like you. Right, there we go. The Gnosis. 2,700 light seconds out, but I'll be there in just a moment. Alright, let's see if anyone shoots me. So, Robert Lockhart, on the new fighters, are those hangar pets only? Or will they be able to have a solo version? Are those hangar pets only? Not quite sure what you mean there, Robert, but if you mean the fighters, they will be available in solo. If you mean the fighters themselves. Hang on, I've just scrolled past the chat and back up a bit. So anyone who's adding new comments to the bottom there in the chat, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just scrolled up a bit and I'm slowly working my way down. Are the accounts cross-platform, just not quite playable? The accounts are not cross-platform. The PlayStation 4 account is completely different to the PC account. I had to rebuy it on PlayStation 4, but excuse me. But apparently, if you play on one platform and want to swap over to another platform, you can send a request into support, and they will move you over. But it's a one-way move; they won't move you back again. Mini Celeste is disappointed missing the Gnosis jump because they're leaving while the Armistice Summit expedition is on. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame that there's a number of things going on at once, and well, we can't all be in multiple places. It's a shame. Potato, the game is separate for all platforms. Yes, there's no cross-play on Elite Dangerous. However, the Galaxy is the same on all platforms. So the Gnosis is here in wherever we are. We're in the HD system. HD 51502. So if you come here on the PlayStation, Xbox or PC, you'll find the Gnosis here on all platforms, and it will be jumping to another system a little bit later. So basically everything that goes on in the background of the game is the same across all platforms. You just can't play with... If you're on the PlayStation 4, you can't play with someone who's on the Xbox or PC. Thank you, Matthew. I'm glad you still like the videos. I'm going to keep going with them. Still very much enjoy producing them. Yep, I've got a control pad. I just used a normal control pad for the PlayStation 4, Brian. Actually works really well. Ah, sorry to hear you 1200 light years out, Dave. Alright, Mickey, so we got a lot of comments on the trailer where people say they feel ignored. I assume you're saying they feel ignored about the requests they're making for the game rather than front... The reason I'm asking is, how did you mean that you feel Frontier ignoring people? Is it you feel Frontier are not communicating with us, that they don't put enough time and effort into talking directly with the players? Or do you feel rather that Frontier are not addressing the concerns people have and introducing the content people are asking for? Or is it you mean a bit of both? Not being pedantic there. I just want to know specifically what you mean before I actually say what I feel about it. A full-length documentary on Elite from the in-game perspective, starting, this is from Telex, starting and leaving off where it is now. All from in-game detailing locations. So do you mean a documentary, for example, a documentary or video on Earth, talking about all the history and lore of Earth, and then moving on to the Empire homeworld and doing a documentary around there and highlighting different things, maybe with some concept art and screenshots from outside the game as well. Could do the same with the Alliance. Many locations. Yeah, sounds like a good potential video series. I like that idea, Talix. I've actually slowed down a little bit. People who are waiting at the Gnosis, I'll be there in just a bit. Noah, I agree. I think the Frontier staff are spread very, very thin. Can't say for sure. Haven't been to the offices for a long time. I mean, I went there a year ago and there were a lot of people working on Elite Dangerous. But it just seems that lately the pace of development has slowed right down. But that's possibly because they got so much coming in Chapter 4. I really hope that's what it is. Yeah, Mickey. Now then, I agree. Not fixing the stuff that needs fixing. The thing is, we got quite a few bug fixes and stuff like that in... yeah, there you go, Andre. You're on stream. We got quite a few bug fixes in Chapter 1, but there was still a lot of outstanding issues that weren't fixed. Yamiks is always saying, and I think I've seen Exigeous as well as Down to Earth saying that they'd love an update just purely on quality of life fixes, and personally I'd love to see the same. There's a hell of a lot of fixes on quality of life fixes that could go into the game. Some of that is coming in Chapter 4. I mean, people have been asking for new exploration content for a long time. They've been asking for mining improvements for a very long time. So we're getting that, but yeah, there's a lot of other things. Warwicks, you're 3/4 of the way to Colonial on an unengineered ship. With all the travelling back to the bubble makes you quite sad. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't interacted with any of those engineers, it's going to be a bit of a pain, isn't it? Ah, Andre, you're in Super Cruise. I think that's probably you. I can see right near the Gnosis. Agent Exigeous, mini campaign for each superpower? Possibly. I certainly would like to see some sort of military focused campaign. I mean, we get our ranks up through the military. I don't think I've got any ranks on this account here. We get our ranks up just through doing crazy stuff, don't we? Like delivering bio waste. Something more specific to the military would be great for each power. Just skipped a bunch of chat, scrolling back up again. Commander Bouncy, you're making the way to the Gnosis from the Heart and Soul Nebula. You're going on the trip with the Gnosis then? Planning on going to the Cone Sector? And then maybe on even to the Formidine Rift. Quite excited to get up to the Formidine Rift actually, because it's a lot of light years. Oh, well, thank you, Starship Enterprises. You know, I think... oh, we locked onto the target there. I really think Patreon and YouTube and streaming really has changed entertainment a lot. I know a whole bunch of people that just exclusively watch YouTube and nothing else.
Please note that access to this megaship is by authorization only.
Let's have a look here at chat. I keep going to my keyboard to type. Yeah, I've got type here in this thing because I haven't got a keyboard plugged into my... Hello. I haven't got a keyboard plugged into my PlayStation. Hello all. Nice to see you all there. Where are we? And do I think Frontier are holding back something satisfying and substantial for 2.4, 3.4, I assume you mean, and that's why the updates are currently treading water? Well, that's always been my hope. I'm good, thanks, Final. How are you? Nice to see you guys here. That's always been my hope that, let's fly over to you all. That's always been my hope that there's extra content beyond Chapter 4 that Frontier haven't announced. What that could be, though, who knows? Who we got here, then? There we are. First person I select, Commander Andre. I know. Hope you're turning away. There we go. Nice to see a bunch of people here. How many of you are going along on the trip with the Gnosis? Yeah, Captain Fury, I know what you mean about raw material grind. The material grind is one of the sides I really don't like about the game. It's one thing I tend not to do. Or at least do a little of it if I can. Reese, the Gnosis is jumping on... Let's have a look. I've got it here somewhere. Oh, I've lost it. Or have I still got it open? No, I've still got it open. The Gnosis is next jumping, I believe, on the 30th. So I'd get docked up on the 29th of August. It's going to the DtEA system. I'll type that into chat in just a moment. If you have a look, if you go to Marvel Boy, you want to know where the Guardian sites are. If you go to... sorry for ignoring everyone around me here in-game. Just trying to answer all the chat stuff. If you go to Google and type in Canon Research and Guardian site locations, you'll come up with a website that will give you everything you need to know about where they all are. Matt, they do fix stuff, but not at the rate that people would like them to. Elite in VR is absolutely fantastic. I've got an Oculus Rift, Sam. Play it on there quite a lot. One of the best VR games around. The Gnosis should come back. Yeah, you're all on stream, Andre. Let's see if we can see you all. Who's this? Who have we got here? Got a Python. Commander Kazimierz. Love the colours of your ship there. Nice paint job. Who else have we got? That looks like Andre again. Who's over there? I've got an eagle. One of the first eagles to the Formidine Rift if you're going. Final edit. I dare you to take the eagle to the Formidine. Dock with the Gnosis. Although it's... let's have a look. The Gnosis is staying here for another 6 days. It's then going to be in the DtEA system for a week. It's then going to jump to the Cone sector, which is unreachable currently because it's surrounded by permit locked systems. The Cone sector is not permit locked itself, but it's surrounded by permit locked systems. It's going to be there for 4 weeks, and after that it's jumping to the Formidine Rift. Who else have we got here? Commander Andre again. Let's have a look over here. There must be someone I haven't clicked. We've got an Asp Explorer.
Commander, I think you'll find our guns are bigger. Retract your weapons.
Commander Lithran. Hello there. Right, so I'm going to sit still for a few minutes. I'm just heading back to the chat again and my talk there. Yeah, any size ship can dock with the Gnosis if you want to go along with it to come out to it. And when it jumps, because it's going to jump to another system, anyone who's docked on board will be going to the new system along with it. So it's a good way to get to different locations. Let's have a look where they are so everyone knows where the Gnosis is right now and where it's heading to. So let's have a look. It's here in the HD 51502 system, so that's around about 1,000 light years out from the bubble. Next up, it's going to this system right here. I'll type it in. OUT Z. S. T. Does take some time with the controller. S. T. I don't know if that's a I or an L. Oh, so that's an I. D9. Oh, there we go. Hopefully that's the right one. Nope. This is much easier on the keyboard. Right, so it's just going to jump another 500 light years. This is where it's going next. It's going here on the 29th of August. So if you're on board the Gnosis, this is where it'll be taking you. And then we're going to the area that is currently inaccessible. So there's going to be a bunch of opportunity there to get a whole lot of currently undiscovered planets. Let's go into the cone sector. Cone sector. FN. J. B. 9. 0. So this is where it's going to on the 6th of September. So I'd advise being docked with the Gnosis on the 5th of September. Not September. Yeah, 5th of September. And it will take you here to the cone sector. So again, an unreachable area of space currently. No one's actually been there. And then after that, it's heading to the Formidine Rift. It's going to be in the cone sector for 4 weeks. Now, I'm not sure if Formidine actually comes up. Formidine. After a 4-week stop in the cone sector on the 4th of October, it's going to be jumping to the Formidine. Have I spelled it wrong? It doesn't actually come up. Never mind. What we do is I'll show you where the Formidine is approximately. It's roughly over here somewhere, I believe. So yeah, quite a long distance, quite a few thousand light years. If you've never been that far away or you want a quick ride, go on board the Gnosis and you'll be travelling all around. I'm heading back to chat for a moment here. Possibly, Brian, things might go to crap with the Gnosis expedition, but hopefully not. The last I heard, and this was directly from Frontier, Marcus Hansen, is that there's going to be no in-game UI HUD changer. And that's for technical reasons. Apparently it's not very easy. Have you tried it on Oculus, Sam Jarvis, with your mates? Do I think, Commander Andok, do I think Frontier will introduce a large dedicated exploration vessel in Q4? No idea. Hopefully there is going to be new ships. Personally, I'd like to see the Panther Clipper, but, you know, who knows? I don't know whether it's playable on the... whether Elite's playable on the Oculus Go, Marvel Boy. Yeah, I know I can use a keyboard bouncy stickman on the PS4, it's just I don't have one connected up. Yeah, that was a PS4 keyboard. Pascal, I'm 42. Yeah, Agent Exeter. Many people, it's hard to realise, but the cockpits are truly massive in Elite, and you really notice that in VR, especially even the smaller ships. The flying in the Vulture or the oh, we get a nice flyby there of Andre's Anaconda. Even Eagle and Sidewinder look great. So then, I think that pretty much brings us to an end of this stream. Thank you everyone for... Oh, sorry Trey, I might have missed it. Sorry to repeat. Do you think Frontier's burned by the bad press and player comments over the past? Quality of life improvements not being new stuff? I don't think so, not regards to that, Trey. I think the impression I'm getting is that Frontier are a lot like us players. They're pinning a lot of the hopes on Chapter 4. But that said, David Braben has said more than once that they've got other content in development, and he said that a lot of people can probably guess what that is, but he won't hint at what it is. So who knows? Hopefully it's not too far away. It just seems we're waiting forever for those atmospheric planets and space legs, doesn't it? Ah, hello. Oh, what have we done? I've skipped past some chat. Yeah, VR is absolutely fantastic in Elite, isn't it, Corax?
Looks like you need a few more science lessons.
Oh, thank you, Trey. Really appreciate that. So I'm heading off. I really appreciate everyone stopping by. I want to actually extend my thanks again to Fresinger Best, all the people who donated a bit here, Austin D, Alvin Miles, who become a member to the YouTube channel. There's a little join button there. He pushed that and become a YouTube member. So for the people who did that, I think there was 2 or 3 that joined during this stream. There is a community section on the YouTube channel, and I've got a few community only posts there that you might want to go and have a look at. Thank you to Trey Harris, really appreciate that, and thank you again for the constant continued support, Trey. Commander Soundo, who become a member, thank you very much for that. Again, do be sure to check out the community section or the community page here on YouTube. Marcio Costa, thank you very much. Talex, thank you. And of course, massive thank you to Commander Corvus Corax. That's just absolutely amazing. Stunningly amazing, actually. Thank you very much for that. Oh, that was a really close flyby. Thank you to Cheeky Nonsense, and again thank you to Trey Harris, and I think there might have been a couple of donations that come through on PayPal. Can't actually see them, so I apologise if I haven't mentioned your name, but do know I appreciate everything there. And of course, thank you to everyone for watching. It means a lot. Whether you just, whether you're a watch, whether you're a subscriber, or whether you're just here for a few minutes, or whether you stay the entire time, really appreciate it. I'm going to be back on Wednesday, I hope. That's the plan. I'm going to be planning something a little bit different. For those of you that don't know, I'm going to be streaming now on Fridays. I'm going to try and get back into streaming with Yamiks and everyone else on Fridays. And that will be Elite Dangerous. And I'm going to try and do an additional stream in the week, which will be on Wednesdays. And Wednesdays will be a bit of a different game each week. Last Wednesday just gone, it was No Man's Sky. Next week it's going to be Conan Exiles. So we're going to try a bit of that out. I'd love for you to enjoy, to join me, and hopefully you'd enjoy the stream. And there's also something else I've got planned, which I'll talk about at another time. So yeah, everyone, thank you for stopping by. Really appreciate it, and I'll catch you all next time. And really nice to see you all here near the Gnosis, you guys here on the PlayStation 4, whoever that is doing the rapid flybys. Where have you gone? Oh, someone there landed on the Gnosis. Wouldn't it be nice if we could actually land like that? So yeah, catch you all soon. Bye now.